Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man United changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limits on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025 there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
Hello and welcome to the Sunday session with me, Sam Ellard, and the former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. The Women's FA Cup final between Man City and Brighton kicks off at 3 p.m. We'll be keeping you updated throughout the afternoon with team news coming next. And as it's the end of the domestic season, that means the return of all your favourite features, including Sounds of the Weekend, Smile, Stranger Things and Saturface. Well, we'll also be discussing a range of topics, including England, who head off to Miami tomorrow for their World Cup warm-up preparations, Anthony Gordon's £70 million move to Barcelona, Liverpool sacking Arne Slot, and of course, there is only one place to start. We're starting with Arsenal losing the Champions League final against PSG on penalties. It's the Sunday session, and we're live on talkSPORT. It is a very, very good afternoon to Perry Groves. Hi, mate. How are you?
Afternoon, Samuel. Yourself?
I'm very, very good, thank you. You've gone viral last night, Perry, on social media.
Does that mean I've got like I've got to go to doctors, or I've got
yes,
to my body?
Yes, no,
what
no.
What does viral mean?
It basically means that every time I go on my phone and scroll through a social media app, I just see you, Cundy and Abonlahor, in this very studio.
Oh, okay. It was it was different, shall we say?
Yeah. I promise you, I'm going to be much more calm and much more neutral
and balanced
over the next couple of hours. Balanced, yes. Yeah, that's what they call me.
Yes.
Sam Balanced.
And balanced.
Obviously, we're going to spend so much time on the show, Perry, talking about Arsenal over the next couple of hours. But what, 12, 14 hours on from that defeat last night, how are you feeling right now?
Do you know what it is? It's I feel exactly the same as what I did after the game. Everybody knows that I'm a Gooner, and I'm a proud Gooner. We talk about later on, take a lot of stick the way that we obviously approach the game, but I don't care. It's not our job to entertain the neutrals and entertain the wider football public. Not bothered about that. And the quiet reflection. Do you know what? How again? Arsenal. I think Arsenal, Man United, and Liverpool are the behemoth three clubs in this country. Do you know what I mean? The three biggest clubs, like through history, tradition, heritage, and way they've built their success up over a period of times. I come in on the train. I live in Colchester, which is an hour away, obviously, from I get to Stratford. And the whole train was full of Arsenal fans. The whole train. And I got off at Stratford, all Arsenal fans. Now, the open top bus parade doesn't start until 2 o'clock. So this is 22 years of Arsenal fans having this bonding and coming together and thinking, I don't want to miss this. I don't want to miss this trophy parade, because of the desperation that we've had for that 22 years. And the stick that we've taken, some of it's been justified, some of it hasn't. So it's more of a quiet reflection of go back to the start of the season. when Arteta was under 3 second places, like the bridesmaid, not the bride. Quite rightly, questions: have Arsenal players got the mental strength? And this bottle word is thrown around far too easily. Do you know what I mean? But the mental strength to get themselves over the line. I always had confidence in Arteta, the way he changed the culture, where he's got togetherness with the players. There's no big time Charlies there. But I knew that out of the 4 competitions, sorry, the 4 competitions we were in, he had to win one of the Premier League or the Champions League. Because even if we've done what Man City have done, if we'd have won the League Cup and the FA Cup, quite rightly, the narrative would have been Arsenal should be aiming for more than that.
You can't get over the line in the big
in the big stuff, right? So if you'd have said to me at the beginning of the season that you will win the Premier League and you will be in the Champions League final against the best team in the world at the moment, and you'll push them right to the limit, and then there's small margins at any elite sport that you play. So we'll talk about the game in more detail later on, but there's small margins. I got to be honest, I would have snapped your hands off, because I knew for the progress of this team and Arteta that one of the big ones had to be won. And I changed my view on it, because at the beginning of the season, if you offered me one of the two, I would have said Champions League over Premier League, because obviously, again, it's level that you haven't won big ears. So we need that gold star on our shirt. As the season went on, and especially into the last 3 months, I changed and thought, no, the priority now is the Premier League, because we could have been one of the only teams in history, if we won the Champions League and didn't win the Premier League, we got slaughtered. Say you still bottled the Premier League. So the Premier League became imperative that we won it. And now we've got over that line. And I think now you'll see Arteta and this group of players will calm down, and they'll have this assurance next season, where I hope obviously there's going to be a little bit more adventure. And if it isn't, I don't care. As long as my team win, I don't care.
Perry, we'll chat a lot more with you about Arsenal over the next couple of hours, and also Will Hobbs is at the parade for talkSPORT throughout the course of the afternoon. If you're not at the parade, you can. Even if you're at the parade and you're listening to talkSPORT, wherever you are, basically, get your calls in 03717 22 3344. But first, the Women's FA Cup final between Man City and Brighton begins at 3 o'clock this afternoon, and with the teams, the reporter at Wembley. Good afternoon, Charlotte Richardson.
Good afternoon, guys. History will be made under these iconic Wembley arches as Brighton, appearing in their first major final, take on the WSL champions Manchester City, who are aiming for their first domestic double. City have won this competition 3 times and name an 11 full of stars who've played on this stage before. 2 changes to the team who beat Chelsea in the semi-finals. Yamashita starts in goal, and there's a welcome return for the influential centre-back Rebecca Kanak. Brighton unchanged from the team who fought back heroically against Liverpool to book their first outing to the home of English football. Key for the Seagulls today will be 5-time FA Cup winner Fran Kirby. She is a player who raises to occasions exactly like this one. It's Brighton versus Manchester City, kick-off at 3 p.m.
Charlotte, thank you very much. We'll be with Charlotte throughout the course of the afternoon at Wembley for the Women's FA Cup final. We've got lots of texts already coming in, Perry, regarding the game last night. Just wanted then to go in a bit more detail on how Arsenal approached it, because the first text we've got coming in from Trumpet Tom is, please remind Perry, it was Arsenal's job to win yesterday. In terms of Mikel Arteta's game plan, the way he set Arsenal up, what did you make of it?
Well, Tom can stop blowing his own trumpet, to be fair, because if you know anything about football and you watch football like we do, especially at any level, but especially at the elite level, is you have to try and stop the opposition, the strengths they have. And everybody knows that PSG's like going forward, Kvaratskhelia, Dembele, Doué, obviously Barcola comes on. They're quite rightly known as the best attacking side, not just in Europe, probably in world football. And if you try and play them at their game and then you go man for man or you make it expansive, they're going to come out on top. And I'll reference back to when Chelsea played them at their place. They got back to 2-2 after 75 minutes, got carried away, and they thought, right, what we're going to do is we're going to go and try and win this game. When expansive, I know Jorgensen obviously made the mistake. They end up getting beat 5-2, and they're out the game completely. And Liam Rashinia got a lot of criticism because they didn't manage the game, because they let PSG...
They were naive, weren't they?
Exactly right. So yesterday, everybody knew it was going to be forwards v defence. That's what it was going to be. If I'm being overcritical, or slightly critical, is when we went 1-0 up, which was a brilliant finish from Kai Havertz, by the way, and I said Safanov was a step down from Donnarumma. Donnarumma saves that because Safanov's got his hands far too low. Then the natural reaction is, we've gone 1-0 up. we've got to do everything we can to keep hold of this. And I've heard some, pundits and footballers say, well, why didn't they go for the second? Adrian, don't go for the third. It doesn't work that way at that level. It's not Sunday morning football where you go up, say it's the bottom team league and it's top team in the final and you go 1-0 up and you get beat 6-5. You go down the pub with your mates and you go, God, that was a really good game. Enjoyed that. So it's a natural instinct to have what you hold. The criticism I had in the first half and probably 10 minutes second half is we didn't keep the ball enough. We kept giving the ball away too cheaply. Odegaard wasn't very good in possession. Trossard was started from possession and he kept giving the ball away. And we didn't have enough sequences of 8 to 10 passes where then you frustrate PSG and you make them have to work to get it back. I had no problem with David Raya going long because you don't want to invite them onto you, and Havertz and Lewis Skelly probably the best 2 players in the first half. Then when it went 1-1, PSG obviously quite rightly get the penalty where obviously Mosquera brings down Kvaratskhelia, which is 100% a penalty. Then you're looking at it thinking, you're a neutral, Sam. Did you think, right, here it comes. Here comes the tidal wave.
I thought as soon as it went to 1-1, it could easily have ended 3 or 4-1.
Right, exactly.
I thought the floodgates were going to open.
And Arsenal fans probably felt the same, right?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, what happened was we had our best spell because it became more even after 1-1. But PSG then thought, which clicked in, we're desperate to get the equaliser and we've got ourselves back. But then they weren't prepared to take more chances.
That's probably your best 5-minute spell right after PSG got that.
So we reacted really well. Yeah. But then they didn't think, right, we're going to go even more expansive and we're going to flood more players forward because then it crept into them. It's like, actually, we've got this to lose now. So it's easier to be positive and on the front foot when you're chasing. They got 1-0 and then both teams weren't prepared to risk losing the game to go and win it.
Perry, that was my only frustration last night watching Arsenal. I think you're absolutely spot on in your analysis in terms of Arsenal are always going to set up like that. If you want to go toe-to-toe, man-to-man for PSG, you're asking to get battered on because they've got so many good players. You referenced that Chelsea game. Chelsea are poor defensively and PSG tore them apart, right? But what Chelsea did do in that game is they got at PSG at times and they did cause them real problems. They scored 2 after 75 minutes. And if they were just a little bit more clinical, Chelsea, and better players offensively, they could have got a 3rd and a 4th. And I'm watching that Arsenal last night and I'm thinking you're defending really, really well. I was getting frustrated at how poor Arsenal were in possession because if you were maybe at times a tiny bit braver and you can get Saka, you can get Eze, you can get Odegaard in good positions in that final third, I'd have backed them to have been a bit more clinical than what Chelsea were. That was my only frustration, Perry. You didn't ask PSG a couple of more questions from an offensive point of view because it's good they are going forward. I think you can get at them defensively.
Yeah, but what happened was, if you saw as the half went on, especially towards the end of the first half, PSG started to get a bit frustrated. Like Mendes started to have a little push, didn't he, on Saka, if you remember, right at the end of the game, which is frustration. But the other criticism, maybe we were probably 10 yards too deep. If you looked at the beginning of the game, especially where we press, they call it the mid-block, don't they? The mid-block, and it's a 4-4-2, then you go and press. Then I thought we were a little bit too deep. And because Odegaard and Havertz were working so hard in that 4-4-2, then when you get it, you're a little bit sort of heavy-legged, and we didn't have an outball. And it was always going to be big moments. It was going to be big moments, and we had to take advantage of the 2 or 3 that we had. Took advantage one, obviously Kai Havertz scored. There was an incident in the first half where Bukayo Saka puts a great cross in, and I think Savanoff gets his palm to it.
Someone should have made a better run across the goal.
Yeah, exactly. And then at the end of the first half, Kai Havertz has another great little move on the right-hand side, little give and go, and he's in, and Marquinhos makes a brilliant large-distance tackle. So there's again, at that level, it's very, very fine margins. And we'll talk about the penalties, obviously, later on. And we'll talk about the penalty that I think that Arsenal should have had. But it's easy to say, oh, it should be expected. When you're actually in it and you're in the maelstrom and your PSG are further down their development line than what Arsenal are at the moment, especially in the Champions League. And they can rest players. The Premier League is the hardest league in the world to win, right?
Arsenal have got to go at it for 38 games. 38 games. PSG can rest players for
I think Dembele played 11 games. Marquinhos hardly ever played in Ligue 1. And even when you're playing teams in Ligue 1, you can actually play at 65, 70%. But if you look at Kvaratskhelia, who is the best winger in the world at the moment, didn't have a good game at all. Mosquera made one, again, at the top level, he made one mistake, which was the penalty. Vitinha is normally the one who gets it ticking over. He's the shepherd. He didn't have a decent game. Dembele obviously took his penalty, But other than that, he was really poor. Doué was poor. And so we negated them, which we needed to do. But then when you said first half, we could have kept possession a little bit more. But I'm just looking at it as well, and it goes to penalties, which we'll talk about later on. We pushed PSG right to the limits. And if you heard Luis Enrique after his interview, he said how proud he was, obviously, and quite rightly, of going 1-0 down and kept going and kept believing. Arsenal testing, both teams drained each other. And that was always what it was going to be. It was never going to be expansive. And Jason Cundy had obviously words with him and Gabby last night in there.
Good man, Perry.
Englishman sitting in like French. It's embarrassing. Englishman sitting in French like football shirts. Yeah. Exactly. So, but Jason said he didn't think Arsenal players left it all out there. And I went, I said, are you kidding me? Yeah. I said, they gave everything that they could. They worked their off of the ball. And in the end, you go into like obviously extra time, and neither team wanted to lose. The extra time was, pretty beige, really, because neither team wanted to
both teams
go and win. Except they're just like, both teams settled for penalties.
As soon as that went to after 90 minutes to extra time, I thought there's no way we're getting a goal in this final 30 minutes. So it was in the Champions League, Perry. That's the bad news. But the good news is the Arsenal parade for winning the Premier League has just got underway. We've got pictures on our TV of the Arsenal players on the bus. The parade very much underway. Our reporter, Will Hobbs, is on Holloway Road with some fans. Will, good afternoon, mate.
I cannot believe it. Literally, I waited so long for this moment, and I cannot tell you how happy we are.
Who's your favourite player? Who's the one who's done it for us this season? Who is your poster on your wall?
Has to be Declan Rice. Come on, he's got so much energy. He gives it every single game. He's so consistent. 100% Declan Rice.
He's like two players in that midfield, isn't he? When was the key moment? When did you start to believe that it was going to happen this season? Because we've had so many near misses.
God, talking about the near misses, those were some hard moments. But I had like a feeling the fight was there this time, and they weren't going to give up. It wasn't going to be the last season where, towards the end. This year, it was our year.
Did you always believe in Mikel Arteta? Were there moments where you're like, oh, I'm not sure?
I did. I think that, you could see it like second, first. I had believed that he had what he told. He brought in some good players, and he literally changed the mentality of the team, and I think we needed that.
And what are the emotions? It's been a roller coaster. It's been a washing machine of emotions after the heights of a couple of weeks ago, and then being so close to that first ever Champions League title. What are you feeling today? What's the overriding emotion with all these fans?
I think it was bittersweet yesterday when I was watching the Champions League. Like last week, I was like, I'll take the Premier League, and the Champions League's a bonus. But I think after yesterday, it was a bit of a bittersweet pill. But you know what? We did it. 22 years without a trophy. The squad did it, and we all did it. It's amazing. I'm so happy to be here.
Good stuff. We're back with Will Hobbs and Arsenal fans throughout the course of the afternoon. But now, though, it's time for this.
Sounds of the weekend.
This is a journey into sound.
On talkSPORT.
This is Sounds of the Weekend, where we go through the news to find you two of the biggest stories of the week, which you can send in some song suggestions on the text 81089 or via WhatsApp on 03717223344. Story 1. Before his Champions League heartbreak last night, Arsenal left-back Piero Nkapie revealed he's been getting a lot of attention after his wardrobe malfunction. The defender suffered an unfortunate incident in Arsenal's win over Burnley, where his shorts were stepped on as he was falling over, revealing, well, basically his backside. The Premier League champion was quite literally caught with his pants down. Perry, any wardrobe malfunctions for you while out there representing the Arsenal?
My shorts were too tight. They were going nowhere in the 80s. Have you seen the 80s shorts? They ain't going anywhere. I was a 36 and I'd slid into 34s. You couldn't be wearing 36 shorts.
How are you able to run?
I can't, exactly. I don't know if you get chafing in the thighs.
I was going to say, I can feel the pain sat here, Perry.
But the thing that impressed me, wasn't that much of a hurry to actually get his shorts back up, was he? He was feeling for a
he's in good shape. I mean, he's a good-looking man. He's confident in his body. He thought, I'm not...
His derriere was quite tanned as well, to be fair, wasn't it? It was all over tan. So
yeah, well.
I've got Flash by Queen.
Okay.
Fat Bottom Girls, Queen. There's one for the teenage, The Bump, Kenny. That was an old, you're looking at me, it was an old dance, which was bottom to bottom back in the 70s.
Nice.
Song. And Under the Moon of Love.
You're on fire, aren't you? You're on fire.
This is the only thing that I contribute. You know?
Well, I've got nothing, so you do this and I'll try and do something else. Story 2, Barcelona have been offered Bad Bunny tickets and sunflower seeds in order to sell their star player, Lamine Yamal. Spanish rivals Atletico Madrid took to X on Friday evening to make the joke offer because they haven't been happy with the Catalan club's pursuit of their striker, Julian Alvarez. Atleti even edited photos of Yamal, Pedri and Rafinha onto Atleti shirts with the caption, "Don't believe everything you say, especially if it's related to Barcelona." A little bit spicy then between the two clubs. Songs, Perry?
One-way ticket, Boney M.
Very good.
Ticket to Ride the Beatles. Build Me Up Buttercup, The Foundations. Swing the Mood, Jive Bunny. And Kiss from a Rose by
Can you
Seal.
please save some songs for our listeners?
Oh, they're miles better.
You've done-
By
yeah.
the way, you wait when they come in.
Well-
Our listeners take it to a whole new level.
Our first songs for our Sounds of the Weekend are coming right up, but we want your calls on the Champions League final. Arsenal fans, how are you feeling this afternoon? Fans of other clubs, we want to hear from you on yesterday's game. It's 03717 223344. It is the Sunday session, and we are live on talkSPORT.
David is an Arsenal fan. He's written the next big Arsenal song to rival North London forever. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good
morning, David.
Let's talk about the right side of North London now, people. Championes, championes.
Tell us about the song that you've written. Can you give us a blast on air?
Oh, I'd love to. So it's called "We're Going All the Way" by my artist named Guna Gonna Sing. So if you're finding out, have a listen, blast out, and there's a little bit of an intro with a bit of commentary from the end of the Atletico Madrid Arsenal game, and then it goes into it like this. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Unfortunately, we're ready.
Okay, here we go. We're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Rewriting history, unbeaten every game we played. Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Mikel Arteta is our man. The Gunners going on for victory. North London is redder than ever. We're making history.
Oh.
You'll see, but we're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
And there you go. You get the drift?
David.
When are you on top of the pops, mate? Deary me.
Listen, catchy, isn't it? Catchy.
Not one bit, mate.
I quite like that, David.
Terrible.
Listen, you're going to have to do more than that to get Gabby on
Terrible,
site this
David.
morning.
Sounds of the Weekend on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
Sam Ellard, Perry Groves, live on talkSPORT with the Sunday session. Sounds of the Weekend, Perry Groves, our story, seeing Capier getting a lot of attention after a wardrobe malfunction. And Atletico Madrid's joke transfer offer for Lamine Yamal, offering some Bad Bunny tickets. I mean, Bad Bunny's good. I'm not sure he's that good that I'm going to sell Lamine Yamal.
In the old days, used to be a kit, didn't it? We'll give you a kit for your best player. It wasn't it? We'll give you a strip. Not in a Capier strip.
No, sure. I feel like possibly for Lamine Yamal, he might cost like £300 million, which is not quite bad for any tickets. So our songs are coming in on 1889. Shawadi Wadi, Under the Moon of Love.
Well pronounced.
Yeah, I'm good at this, aren't I, Perry? I'm getting good at this. I was not going to say Show Me a Daddy or something like that.
Nearly.
I had this completely under control. And I know this song, The Foundation, Build Me Up Buttercup, Perry Groves.
Yep. That's from I'd say The Foundation. That's probably late 60s, I reckon. A little dance tune. Very good.
I like it, by the way. Are
you broadening your...
No, I'm going to be honest with you. I've done this show once with you before.
Yeah.
And I remember 4 hours when this feature was going on, I sat there like a little bit of an idiot. Because 99% of the songs that are going to be played, I've never heard of them, I've never heard of the artist, and you're going to just give me dirty looks for 4 hours.
Go on in. Who's your favourite artist?
I like a bit of Ed Sheeran, a bit of Rihanna, a bit of Taylor Swift, the kind of real modern stuff. Let's see, shall we then, from Mikel Arteta. There's so many talking points and angles from the game last night. Let's talk about the penalties. 2 were missed, Eberechi Eze, and then Gabriel missed the 5th penalty, and that meant that Arsenal had lost the Champions League. Mikel Arteta has been explaining why Gabriel took that penalty.
He wanted to take number 5. Obviously, we have prepared and trained this moment. Normally, the penalty takers will be Bukayo, will be Martin, it will be Kai for sure. And we knew that if we go to extra time and penalties, the penalty takers will be different players. Still with the quality, when you got reps, take penalties in training, it doesn't miss any. But then you have to do it in this moment. We've been unfortunate not to have the same precision and efficiency that they had, and that's the reason that we haven't won it.
Perhaps, Perry, I am too simple and too basic, but my football analysis would have said that when you've got a midfield player in Martin Zubimendi and a winger in Noni Madueke on the pitch, my basic brain would just tell me they're technically better footballers than Gabriel, and surely you would have more confidence and more faith in them putting the ball in the back of the net from 12 yards.
Yeah, but as Arteta said there, the detail that has gone in today's game with the analysis and, the different algorithm log or whatever, they've been practicing penalties all week, and you can't replicate the pressure, obviously, but you can replicate the repetition that you do. And they would have plans in place. Who's going to be the 5 penalty takers? Then, as you said there, Saka's off the pitch, Odegaard's off the pitch, Havertz off the pitch. Then you have a plan B. And that would have been Arteta. That's not the players putting their hands up and going gaffer. Because in the old days, the manager would say at the end of it, who fancies a penalty? And most of the players look at their shin pads, honestly look at their laces, or go, I've got a bit of a calf muscle injury, to not take a penalty. And he would ask you to volunteer. These days, that's Arteta going, you're first, you're second, you're third, you're fourth, you're fifth. And he said about Gabriel being a senior player and one of the leaders. And obviously, during the week, it sounds like he's been taking the penalties and been very, very confident. And because he's a senior player, this sounds really strange. I'd rather that he missed it because of the player, the stature that he is, than someone like Madueke or Zubimendi, because Arsenal fans will forgive a player anyway. But Gabriel, it's like, all right, you took the penalty, you're brave enough to go and take it, you're that good, you're one of the leaders, we're where we are because of you, then it will be easier for him to get over it. Do you know what I mean? So I was more, it's the Eze one that worried me more, because I was actually saying, watching it with a good friend of mine, don't do the stutter. Please don't do the stutter, because that puts you under more pressure. If you miss, if you score, everybody goes, oh, that's really cool. Don't overcomplicate stuff. But that would have been like Arteta and the coaching staff and the analysts going first, second, third, fourth, fifth. That would exactly what it would have been.
James is a Huddersfield fan. He's called 03717 22 33 44. James, good afternoon, mate. You're live on talkSPORT. What did you make of the game last night?
Just a fantastic spectacle, really. I love an attack versus defence. And my point being, why do people want a basketball game all the time? There's a reason American sports aren't popular in this country. It's because they're crap. So it's as simple as that for me. It was absorbing. You've got £50 million defenders versus £150 million attackers. It was awesome to watch, and I don't understand why people don't understand it. Do you understand that?
Yeah, James, you know what? That is quite refreshing, because football has loads of different facets. Do you know what I mean? Loads of different tactics, loads of different managers' philosophies. And I got to admit, if I was watching it as a neutral, I would have found it, rather than exciting, I would have found it more absorbing, with the different tactical stuff that was going on, and could PSG break Arsenal down, and Arsenal will be able to see this out, with their solid defensive work. And you have to be very disciplined to defend how Arsenal defend.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The two centre-backs, I mean, I watch League One football in the main, so obviously, the Premier League, I just watch bits and bats on the telly now. And those two last night at the centre, wow! I mean, what?
I don't think every game of football needs to be attack v attack. Listen, if we get a game like that, I find it entertaining. But I thought last night's game was an absorbing tactical battle, and I enjoyed that as much as if we saw a 2-2 or 3-3. James, thank you very much for your call. A text from Jeremy Kinsella. Hi Sam, can you ask Perry if it was PSG versus that lot down the road, would he be wearing a PSG shirt? Seems like it's okay to hate watch if it's Tottenham. Jeremy, absolutely.
Jeremy obviously is a Spurs fan.
Yeah, he's Spurs.
In a million years, absolutely not. I would have wanted Spurs to get. That's the only one because of the rival that we have, right? But there isn't. It's a strange thing.
Conde is Chelsea.
Yeah, but
Chelsea
the thing is, the hatred stuff, that is so it drains you like that. And because I said to when Spurs were in the final in 2019, right? My boy lives in Sydney. Drew emigrated 10 years ago. I said to him, "Do us a favour, look for a flat around you, because if Spurs win this, I'm emigrating." Because Spurs fans, quite rightly, would have been unbearable towards us because we would have no answers. When you're arguing, right, who's the biggest team in North London, who's the biggest team in London, their answer would have been, yeah, but we've won the Champions League. That would have been horrendous. And I wanted Liverpool to win that game. But any other English team that are in finals, it doesn't bother me. I don't go, oh, God, desperate you, but I'd want an English team to win.
Perry, I think it's normal for Spurs and maybe Chelsea fans to not like Arsenal, not want them to do well. But I do think over the last kind of 6 months, this kind of narrative that has kind of gone across social media and on the radio and on TV stations that, all Arsenal fans are this, all Arsenal fans are that. I do think it's become a little bit too much.
Yeah, but Arsenal fans
a little bit unfair
are exactly the same as any other fan.
I completely agree with you.
Defending your club. Yeah. And what's happened
is a normal thing to do, right?
Because they know there is this sort of anti-Arsenal biased ear in the media and from neutral fans, all it's made is Arsenal fans just circle the wagons and go, right, we're together. And there will probably be, we're just looking at this open-top bus parade, right?
Rounds up to 1 million.
Well, I would say conservatively, I said last night it'd be 350,000, right? It will get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they will say, because it sounds great, right? Just say there's 500,000. There's not many clubs in the world where you get 500,000 to go to open-top bus parades. And the one thing I noticed, I was lucky enough to go on 2 with Arsenal. We had fans jumping out of trees and actually getting in the top of the bus and coming around with us, which was quite funny. There's 4 double-decker. We had 1.
There's a lot of buses.
It just shows you the way that it's changed with the ancillary staff, auxiliary staff. Obviously, quite rightly, Arsenal women are on it as well. Yeah, I just find it amazing. There's actually 4 open-top buses.
That shows how many people involved now in football teams, all the media people, all the backroom staff. We're going to head back to Will Hobbs very, very shortly. But next on the Sunday session...
Carried away by a moonlight shadow, lost in a riddle that Saturday night, far away.
Jenny from Southall with Moonlight Shadow. She's texted that in on 81089.
You work, Jenny.
With in regard to the Hincapié story, of course, where basically he had a wardrobe malfunction, didn't he, last week? And we saw his behind, didn't we?
Doing a Mooney.
Doing a Mooney. Keep them coming in. 81089. Next, we'll continue to take your calls on the Champions League final 03717 22 3344. And also we'll look ahead to the Women's FA Cup final at Wembley and the IPL final 2. This is the Sunday session. We are live on talkSPORT.
Joey is on the line now. Joey, you're an Arsenal fan. Good morning. How's things?
Good morning, Joe.
Morning, and no good morning to you, Gabi Abonlaho. You've been doing my head in since Saturday, the 17th of August 2013. And that was the season I got my season ticket. You came into that game, you mesmerized our defense. We lost 3-1. I got home and my wife asked me, "Oh wow, Gabi Abonlaho has done this to you." And every time I have a bad day out there and I get home, the first thing my wife asked me is Gabi be doing your head in? Gabi, you're doing my head in, and
I don't mean.
You've turned yourself to become the big ambassador of anti-Arsenal. Like, you just go after Arsenal. You go after Arsenal every single day. Gabi, for goodness sake. This morning we're talking about Gordon. You win all the British press, try bringing down British players. And then, in the same minute, you are saying you don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. Gabi, that is a conflict of contradiction. You have an apparent bias against Arsenal. And you've been doing my head in since 2013, Gabi.
Joe,
For goodness
listen.
sake, let me have a break.
I don't want you.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
The Sunday session on talkSPORT at Sam Ellard and Perry Groves with you until 6. Time is running out this Monday at 4 p.m. Someone wins the trip to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, courtesy of Adidas. And it could be you. You and a mate could be in Dallas on June 17th, seeing England versus Croatia live. We're talking flights, hotel, spending money, tickets, and the official Try-Under match board all included. Head to talksportwin.com to enter for full T&Cs now. We will be taking more Arsenal calls shortly. We're going to go back to the Emirates very, very shortly. And I still feel like, Perry, I've got about 4,000 other things I need to ask you. But for the next couple of minutes, we turn our attention to the world of cricket. The Sunday session is on talkSPORT, on talkSPORT 2 at 3 p.m. It is the small matter of one of the biggest games in cricket. It is the IPL final. RCB taking on the Gujarat Titans. It's live on talkSPORT 2, also on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. If you want to listen to it on the radio, talkSPORT 2 is on DAB, or go and get the talkSPORT app, and then you can very, very easily flick between talkSPORT and talkSPORT 2. Andrew McKenna is on commentary duty, and alongside him is an England legend, the former spinner Monty Panesar, who's popped up to the studio with us. Hey Monty, how are you?
Well, I'm actually very sad, infuriated, disappointed and bitterly gutted that Arsenal did not win the Champions League yesterday.
I thought you were a Luton fan, Monty.
Well, we have irrational behaviours as sports fans. You know? My local team's Luton, which obviously missed the playoffs because Stevenage scored on the 93rd
Won a
minute.
trophy.
And they won a trophy.
Yep.
It's like Arsenal won the Premier League, obviously. So there's positives, but Champions League, come on, the double. I could have been wearing my Arsenal shirt in London for the whole summer.
You still should have
wear
been.
it anyway.
In the Premier League.
You should be on one of those 4 buses that's going round and round.
No. Why didn't Mikel Arteta invite me?
You should be with Piers Morgan, Adrian Dunbar.
He was going to, but then he knew that you were doing commentary on talkSPORT 2 of RCB versus Gujarat. Can I ask you a couple of questions about cricket?
Yeah, let's do it.
RCB, Gujarat. Let's start by talking about Jos Buttler, because he is part of the Gujarat team. Had a bad T20 World Cup for England, but I think in the IPL he's getting lots of starts, isn't he? Which is good, but we just haven't seen him hit that big score. Maybe saving it for the big one today, Monty.
Yeah, look, I hope so. I think the thing with Jos Buttler is he's a world-class, T20 batsman. He's like one of the best in the world, and we cannot forget that. And he can hit sixes from any length, from spinners, from seamers, and he is one of the best in the world. So you should never write Jos Buttler off. And yeah, all sportsmen have a bit of a glitch, and the T20 World Cup, he didn't do too well there. And obviously with Gujarat Titans, yeah, he's getting starts, but we haven't seen the best of him. But he's got a good captain, you know, Shubman Gill. He's one of the calmest guys, and he's managing a real, the youngest sort of batting lineup, you know, in the IPL. And there's something about him. He's able to, as a batsman, win games, but also the calmness that he has, you know, as a captain. And I hope he can just somehow, you know, just rub that magic stone that he's doing with some of the younger batters, does it with Josh Buttler today, and we see the best of him.
You know what? We talked about Arsenal with their tactics and PSG with their tactics. Even though this is from the neutral, it looks like it's basic baseball. You go in and smash it as well. But is it up to the players to implement their own tactics at certain times in the game, rather than obviously the coaches, and obviously coming from the captain as well?
Yeah, look, I think it very much leads from the captain, because the teams that have done really well, the captain has been they know how to deal with the pressure. So with Rajat Patidar of the Royal Challengers Bangalore, he's like, if they win today, he's going to be on the same pedestal as MS Dhoni, Rohit Sharma, to win back-to-back titles, but he doesn't get the same credit. He's a 32-year-old. We don't talk about him like MS Dhoni, do we? Yeah. But his numbers are up there, and same thing with Shubman Gill. Everyone thought, he wasn't part of the T20 World Cup in India, and now he's gone into the IPL. He's like the prince of Indian cricket. When it comes to the next generation, he'll be leading, the batting, lineup when it comes to that. So it's the captains that lead it, and being an English fan, and I love seeing England do well, and I want to see English players do well, I want Josh Buttler to fire today.
I hope so. That's today at 3 o'clock. Thursday, though, first test match of the summer, England versus New Zealand. Brendan McCullum is still in the job. Is that the right call? And if so, are we going to see a slight change in approach and mentality?
Well, I think the thing is, in England, the England team, they find it really easy to play basketball cricket, don't they? They do well, and they're going to probably, I think this time around, the big bosses probably said to them, look, we'll give you the job, but let's, be a bit more, not overly aggressive. So I think they're going to be a little bit circumspect, I think. I think they're going to play a bit more traditional style test cricket. Once they're in a dominant position, then that handbrake goes down, and then you see 7, 8 and over session, and then the entertaining stuff happens. And I think Brendan McCullum just needs to get that balance right.
Monty, thank you so much. By the way, this man over here, he might be known for, winning big trophies with Arsenal, but we were sat outside before this show. You were saying the exact same things as Monty, weren't you, in terms of the approach and stuff? I mean, I see it. Perry Groves, the Arsenal legend. I'm not ruling out Perry Groves, the England cricket expert.
I think Perry
never
Groves,
say never.
I think Perry Groves, you can hit a six like baseball. I think he's got it. I think you've got it in you.
I've been wicketkeeper with you for the Bunburys.
There we go.
Yeah, I keep going about 4 foot the wrong way when it's spinning like that. I'm like one place.
Okay.
And the ball
Maybe don't play it. Maybe you can talk about it though,
exactly,
Perry Groves.
Right.
But also one thing, I've been playing local cricket at Pearl Cricket Club in the South Staffordshire Premier League. So all the fans and the players
still got it, Monty?
Well, I'm hoping to drop less catches than I did for England.
Impossible.
And that's impossible. And the other thing is, yesterday I hit a massive 6, which I've got a bat, Joe Root bat I've got. A same model from Firecrest, and it's got the Lord's Taverner's batting grip on it. Yeah. And I hit the 6, and it went straight into West Brom. It was so massive, and I felt really good about myself.
Monty,
little swagger,
a little bit of swagger. Go and get yourself another Joe Root bat. Monty, get yourself to floor 10. You're on commentary very, very shortly. Thank you so much for joining us in the studio.
Cheers,
again, that IPL final, RCB versus Gujarat, is on talkSPORT 2. It's a 3 o'clock start. You can also watch it and listen to it on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. To the Women's FA Cup final between Man City and Brighton. 3-time winners, Man City hoping to add to another trophy to the cabinet. Brighton, I mean, maybe they win or lose, it's still a massive moment for them, isn't it? Playing in their first ever FA Cup final. Both teams with their share of drama in the semi, City securing their place with a 2-0 win over Chelsea, while Brighton came from 2-0 down to beat Liverpool 3-2 with the final goal in the 95th minute. Charlotte Richardson is at Wembley. Charlotte, good afternoon again. How do you see this game going this afternoon?
Good afternoon, Sam. It is so difficult to call how this final is going to go, and I think that is testament actually to perhaps one of the most competitive domestic seasons we've enjoyed in women's football. We continue to see top clubs investing in their infrastructure and the quality of their players, and it leads us to this road here at Wembley, where Brighton, as you mentioned, playing in their first major tournament, coming up against Manchester City, who are looking to secure their first domestic double. You look at the glittering talent amongst the Manchester City stars. starting 11. Bunny Shaw, who's one of the most incredible centre forwards in world football, just rewarded with a lucrative 4-year contract. She's absolutely outstanding. But also Brighton, don't let them have this label of underdogs, because they beat Man City in the WSL just a few weeks ago, and they have in Frank Kirby a player who knows when to come up with an important goal. So I think hopefully, Sam, that sounds like I'm sitting on the fence enough for you there.
Charlotte, it's going to be quite an emotional afternoon for Dario Vidicic, obviously the Brighton Hove Albion women's manager, because he's had his father pass away. It was a massive influence on the Brighton women's development of their football down at Brighton Hove Albion.
Yeah. It will be, and I understand that just before kick-off, a TIFO flag is going to be raised in honour of Dario Vidicic's father, Rado, the club's head of women and girls. So he, of course, was this influential figure for his son, but also for the Brighton and Hove Albion playing squad. Dario Vidicic took a step back from first-team duties, a month off, and then came back and supercharged this end of the season climax that's led to this point here at Wembley Stadium. And in his pre-match press conferences and interviews, of course, his father hasn't really been far away from his thoughts. He said that he'll feel his presence here at Wembley Stadium, and it's really nice that the club have collaborated with supporters for that moment that's going to happen right before the game starts.
So actually, on the pitch, do you think that Brighton are going to be as brave as they were against Liverpool? Obviously, Frank Kirby's going to have a massive part to play, but Brighton like to press.
Yeah, I mean, Dario Vidicic sets his teams up so superbly tactically, and not only did they have that fantastic game against Liverpool, but in the round before I actually commentated on their game against Arsenal. They travelled away to Arsenal, beat them 2-0, and again were just so superb with their organisation off of the ball. And when they get their moments, they're really, really clinical. We speak about Frank Kirby, her pedigree speaks for itself, but Madison Haley's a really interesting player to watch evolve and develop as well, Perry. She's been fantastic. She's scored 3 in the last 4 rounds. So with Brighton, you just suspect they'll take a moment. What I think will be important today is the opening goal. And I read a stat earlier that the team who scores the first goal in the FA Women's Cup final for the last 13 finals has gone on to win.
Records there to be broken, Charlotte.
Yeah, exactly, absolutely.
You put the mockers
here
on that one now, by the way, now that you mentioned that. Whoever scores first is definitely losing.
In the Champions League, it was the last 11 teams that scored first won the Champions League.
So whatever happens, do not score the first goal this afternoon. Charlotte, go get yourself a cup of tea. We'll chat just after 3 o'clock. Charlotte Richardson at Wembley, looking ahead to the Women's FA Cup final, which starts in 13 minutes' time. We've got lots of calls, Perry, on 03717 223344. I mean, I'm looking at our switchboard, about 20 callers waiting. None are Arsenal fans. Let's go to Pav, the Man United fan, first. Pav, good afternoon, mate. You're live on talkSPORT. What did you make of that game last night?
Good afternoon. Well, basically, I think Perry's taking this too personally. I watched him last night, and he did a stout job of trying to defend, but I don't think he really needs to. I mean, Jason and them wind people up on whenever their team loses. But there's a couple of things about this Arsenal narrative that I find, frankly, galling. Credit to you, by the way, Perry. You did the job after 22 years. The bottle job stuff now has subsided to some degree because you got over the line. Should have got over the line about 4 seasons ago, but let's not go there. But the thing that I find extremely amazing is that with regards to the Champions League, Sam, they had the easiest, and I mean the easiest draw, easier than some of the Barcelona Man United ties.
Why was that, Pav?
The last few years.
Why was that?
That was the luck of the draw, mate.
No, it wasn't. No, Pav, get your facts right. It was because Arsenal won 8 games and came top of the Champions League. That's the point.
Liverpool, hold on. Liverpool did it last season. They drew Paris Saint-Germain. So there's an element of luck there. I'm not decrying that, by the way, Perry. I'm saying to you...
No, it's not luck winning the 8 games.
No, but the draw itself is luck.
No, it isn't, because you earn the right to get that draw because you've won 8 games.
It's luck, I guess, in terms of where the other good teams finished. Because Liverpool were unfortunate last year. They won all of their games to finish top. But they were unlucky, Liverpool. The PSG did badly, and it allowed Liverpool to draw PSG in the last 16.
Correct the point. But the bottom line is this. Even within all those knockout games, including yesterday, what is it, 7 games, I think? They managed to score goals, 2 or more goals once. They're far too good, Arsenal. My heart sank when Perry said it's not our job to entertain.
It isn't.
Look at the potential talent that Arsenal have on the field. And I grew up, Perry, just a little bit after you, watching the likes of Bergkamp, Henry, Anelka. And I'm not afraid to say, as a Man United fan, I used to watch Arsenal and think this is a vintage team to watch. It's enjoyable, whatever happens. And for Arsenal to go from that to go to it doesn't matter, we just want to win. And you spoke about being the 3rd biggest club in the country, but for me that's small club mentality to think, it's not our job to entertain. Of course it is. Arsenal have been built on entertainment down the years, whether it was your team, whether it was Frank McClintock.
If you want to be entertained, go to the theatre, go to watch a concert. It's not Arsenal's job to entertain you. It's Arsenal's job to win top trophies and top titles, and that's exactly what Arteta's done.
So if you're saying that, why do the likes of Real Madrid and Barcelona and Man United and Munich try and do it in a certain way?
How'd Man United get on this year? How'd Real Madrid get on this year?
Well, obviously you can't win it every year, but my point is they in terms of Madrid and Arsenal, they won the same amount of European trophies this year, didn't they? And that's the bottom line. This is the problem. Hold on, Perry. Give me a second, mate. You have all this time. You can come back. Bear with me. I want to have a conversation with you. What I'm trying to say is, for me, for an Arsenal fan or a legend like you, through and through, to say it's not our job to entertain, I personally think that is very, very parochial and myopic for you to say that, because I think it is. The top team should entertain. Now, of course, there are going to be games where you win ugly. No problems with that. Everyone has to do that to some extent. But the bottom line is, yesterday, they were there in the first half of the taking because of the way you played, you set up, and instead of doing it, and you did the same at the Emirates against Man United. Man United were woeful this season. You sat back after the own goal.
Who do you support?
What are they doing? Man United, mate.
Right. Why are you getting so emotional over Arsenal? Why is it bothering you that much? I don't give a rat's backside about Man United. I don't care how you play. I don't care if you're expansive. I don't care if you're easy on the eye. I don't care. So why are you getting so emotional about another club?
I'm first and foremost a football fan, Perry. I'm not just a Man United fan.
I don't care what you think. Arsenal fans don't care what you think.
That's
I'm watching an open-top bus parade now with probably 500,000 to 600,000 Arsenal fans around North London. Do you think they care what Pav is thinking about being entertaining?
Pav, thank you very much for that passionate call. I would also say, as a non-Arsenal fan, that when you go 22 years without winning a trophy and you get years of stick for being bottlers, for being weak defensively, you then have a manager that comes in and makes you hard to beat, makes you defensively solid, and then wins you the league title. Obviously, you're going to be happy with that. Obviously, you're not going to be waking up thinking, we need to entertain the neutral. So I'm with you on that.
I don't get why someone like Pav is getting so emotionally invested on what Arsenal are doing. Do you know what I mean? Because Arteta had 3 years. We're beating teams 5 and 6s. 3 years of coming second. And he looked at it and went, we haven't nailed it that way. We've got to find another way. Is exactly what he did.
More calls to come. Next, though, on the Sunday session. Gonna be honest with you, immediately hate this. Kind of lowered the mood a bit, Dom. I feel like we had a really good 52 minutes.
I have no idea.
I don't even know what to say to this, by the way.
Who is it?
Bad Bunny, DTMF. In fact, I'm going to blame Newman from Solihull because is this music?
No, it's everybody's choice.
It's true. It's true, Perry. I'm sorry.
Did Bad Bunny not do the Super Bowl?
Probably. Yeah, probably. But I mean, who hasn't done the Super Bowl? Keep your songs coming in on our Sounds of a Sunday session on 81089. And keep the calls coming as we react to that Champions League final on 03717 223344.
Now, one of the most important parts of the interview, you must be happy. It's been 22 years since your beloved Arsenal lifted the Premier League title. Finally, it's come back home. I mean, how are you feeling?
It is fantastic, and this squad is really, really good. They've had real resilience. I do genuinely think they're the best team in the Premier League this year. I'm really glad to see them win it, and hats off to them because they did really well. The pressure was then really on with 5 or 6 games to go. Suddenly, it looked like starting the title race all over again. They pulled through and they've done brilliantly. And 22 years is a long time to wait.
It is a long time.
But we've done it.
Let's hope you have to wait a bit longer. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I have to get your views before we let you go on the pressure that you put on TNT Sports to make that final free on Saturday. I just want to get your views on that. I know you're going to echo that, but of course TNT price it at what, $4.99, which some could argue is really good value. So what's your view on that?
I just think it should be free. It's always been free, every year up to this year. And I say this not as an Arsenal fan. All fans want to watch the Champions League final. It's a big event. It should be free. And that's why I wrote to them to say, please make it free. I'll renew that, actually. I really do think they should do that. I think it's the right thing to do. And look, I mean, it could be a fantastic topping off of the week. We had Villa. We had Palace. Then if Arsenal go and do it, we got an English treble there. What a great thing that will be.
Okay, and last question, we've got the World Cup coming up. How important is it that we bring home the World Cup?
Sounds of the weekend on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
Come on, Sam. Come on.
Yes, even I've heard of ABBA.
Well played. Cat's eye.
Yeah, this not so much, I'll be honest with you.
Me neither.
Yeah, okay. Now I feel really, really...
I tried to make it sound as if I was down with the kids, but...
No, but you, Perry Groves. You don't have to pretend... Hey, I'm 29 and I'm not down with the kids, so, you've got even more reason not to be down with the kids, being a couple of years older than me. It is Sounds of the Weekend. Our stories, Hincapié getting lots of attention after a wardrobe malfunction, and Atletico Madrid's joke transfer offer for Lamine Yamal offering some Bad Bunny tickets. Song number 1 there, ABBA SOS. Thank you, Nicola from Tamworth. And song 2, Cat's Eye, Hands Off Gabrielle, Matthew, the Liverpool fan. The latest edition of the talkSPORT Daily Podcast is available now, as Adrian Durham is joined by Stuart Pearce and Jim Proudfoot as they provide instant reaction to PSG being crowned European champions for a second year in a row. Plus, you'll never guess who, the former Arsenal title winner Perry Groves clashes in capitals with Jason Cundy and Gabriel Bonlahor over Arsenal's Champions League final defeat. That is the talkSPORT Daily Podcast, available now on all of your favourite podcast platforms. Let's go to the phone lines. 03717.
I'll put me 10 out on again.
344. Pav's back. No, I'm joking. Pav's not back yet. Well, come on, Pav. Chill out, Pav, on a Sunday afternoon. Ed's a big Newcastle fan. Ed, good afternoon. Do you want to give Perry some stick? Do you two want to go at it?
Where you go, Ed?
Hi, guys. I actually want to stick up for Perry. So firstly, I'm a Mad Newcastle fan, season ticket holder. So I fondly remember the Entertainers with Kevin Keegan, where we played the most amazing football, but sadly won nothing. So I do have a bit of empathy with Perry in terms of how Arsenal played and approached the game, to be quite fair. I wanted them to win. I wanted all the English teams to win, and I was disappointed when they lost. So, Perry, I can understand your perspective.
Do you know what, Ed? It's very refreshing because, as I said before, that unless it's obviously Spurs, which is understandable, North London rivalry, I would want any English team to win. I wanted Crystal Palace to win the Conference League, wanted Villa to win Europa League, any English team to win, obviously, the Champions League, apart from Spurs, because we'd never hear the last of it. And you just said there about the Entertainers, Kevin Keegan said, I think there was one stage you were 9 or 10 points clear, wasn't you? It was
possibly more, my friend. Possibly more.
And it was the Kevin Keegan, I'll love it, wasn't it? I'll love it if we beat them. I don't know if there's any Newcastle fan who looks at that and goes, you know what, I love that season because we played entertaining, free-flowing football. There'd have been a disappointment that you didn't win it. If you'd have closed shop and just ground out, the wins towards the end of the season, won the title, that would have been euphoria, wouldn't it, for Newcastle fans?
No, absolutely. I mean, with the 4-3 Liverpool, the first of 2 years on bounce, where that wasn't particularly helpful. But again, when you look back, people, as a Newcastle fan, we enjoyed the period. But I think you saw when we had the Carabao Cup parade last year, what a trophy win actually meant, right? After I was 2 months old, I think, when they won in Europe in 1969. So, I understand what Arsenal did. And to your point, you made a really good point as well about the enjoyment factor of the game. I turned off last year when PSG went about 3-0 up because it was going to be a cricket score. There was no point to it. This, unfortunately, it didn't go the right way, but there was jeopardy all the way through it this year, which I actually thought made it quite good watching. I think you used the word compelling, and I'd agree with that.
Ed, thank you so much for the call. Lewis is a Man United fan. He's called 03717223344. Lewis, you're live on talkSPORT.
Off his long run up.
Hi, mate. How are you?
Right, Lewis?
Good. How you going, mate?
How are you?
We're good. How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm buzzing, to be honest, mate.
Tell us why.
Well, Arsenal didn't win the Champions League.
What difference does that make to you, Lewis?
Because I just hate Arsenal fans.
Why?
They're just soulless.
Where do you live, Lewis?
That couldn't have happened to a better group of lads.
Where do you live?
I live in Suffolk.
Why do you support Man United?
I don't know, really. My brother does.
Was you a glory hunter? Was you a glory chaser because they were winning trophies? You thought I'd jump on that bandwagon?
Oh, mate, I'm not old enough to be chasing any glory.
So, what, you watched that game last night, did you? Were you like cunning up on the whole PSG tip on, PSG top on, giving it the big one?
Oh, mate, yeah, we were going mental in the boozer.
Lewis, you know what the difference is? If Man United were in the Champions League final, it wouldn't bother me either way whether you won it or lost it. It wouldn't affect my life. I wouldn't get angry over it. I wouldn't get over emotional over it. If you won it, I'd actually think, yeah, I'd rather that an English team won it. But other than that, I don't get the energy that you're wasting on Arsenal.
Lewis, the Man United fan, has gone. Thank you very much for the call, Lewis. Get your calls in on 03717223344. Next on the Sunday session, Perry.
Even you know this one.
Yeah.
You're 2 for 2.
That's 2 in a
On
row.
fire.
If I can make it 3 in a row, I'm leaving you the happiest person in the
You
world.
get the
by
Sounds of Weekend hat trick. You get the actually running order.
That would be, I want that. That is Michael Jackson's Smooth Criminal. I'm guessing that's... Is Nkape a smooth criminal, do you think?
Or is it the Bad Bunny giving them ridiculous ticket offers or whatever?
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, I think it's more trousers, isn't it? More shorts, isn't it? Because his shorts have come down in Nkape, but I think he still managed to pull it off, hasn't he?
Yeah.
He's like, you know what? I've got a good
Smooth.
body. I'm going to flaunt it. I'm smooth. Let's have it, right?
Got it.
Perry, it is 3 o'clock. We are live on talkSPORT. It is the Sunday session. You keep your calls coming in. On to that Champions League final. It's 03717 223344.
Andy Robertson and Liverpool and the memories that brings up and the incredible teams that you've been part of over those years and Jurgen Klopp, all that history. Oh my goodness, just sum up, now that you're at the end of your Liverpool career, how it's been, how emotional has this been for you?
Yeah, it's been a difficult couple of weeks, but I also try to enjoy every minute of it. I think people are fed up of seeing my face and seeing interviews of me doing farewell stuff, so I'm glad this one's radio. But yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable 9-year journey.
Andy, can I take you back to, because I honestly think this was probably one of my favourite Liverpool sides ever. Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You guys, that back four, you just picked yourself really. Robbo, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, and Alisson. It will forever be one of my favourite Liverpool sides, I think, just because there was so much character in it. But also, you guys were just so good. What was it like having that connection that you had with your team?
Yeah, look, that was, I think, I've spoke about it, quite a few times, but it's like that was the best time because, we were all kind of climbing the mountain together as such. We weren't none of us were the best player in the league. None of us were the best in our position. None of us were, we certainly weren't the best team. And I just think every day you just started seeing it slowly but surely piece all together. And then we
Everyone knows there are 20 managers in the Premier League, yeah? Well, actually, no. Around 3/4 of them are not managers. The terms manager and head coach are often used interchangeably to describe Premier League bosses, but they're actually two different jobs. So let's explain how and why. For years, fans referred to Mikel Arteta as Arsenal's manager, but I'm afraid technically...
I don't think so. No.
From his first day on the job, he was the Gunners' head coach. Let's pick a random moment in time, February 2025. Only 6 Premier League bosses actually held the official title of manager rather than head coach. Man City's Pep Guardiola, David Moyes of Everton, Ipswich boss Kieran McKenna, Southampton's Ivan Juric, Oliver Glasner at Crystal Palace and Leicester's Ruud van Nistelrooy were the only actual managers of their respective teams. Everyone else? That's right, head coach, including Ruben Amorim at Man United. He took over from Erik ten Hag, a man who had held the title of manager. Might come as a surprise that Amorim's appointment marked the first time ever that Man United had a head coach instead of a manager. But to understand why they made that decision, you also have to get what the difference is between a head coach and a manager. A manager's got a huge range of responsibilities. They're not just in charge of training and player lineups, they're also heavily involved in player sales and transfers. Critical stuff. But a head coach's role is far more focused on team training and performance on the pitch. So whereas Ten Hag was highly involved with decisions around transfers during his tenure, the intention was that Amorim wouldn't be, at least not on the same level. And as the sporting structure at Man United changed under Sir Jim Ratcliffe, people like Sir Dave Brailsford took charge of transfers instead. How all those roles play out in practice may be slightly different at different clubs though. On the other hand, the contracts of actual managers like Pep or Moyes had no limits on their job role and their involvement with transfers and contracts. But those guys are actually in the minority now, and it's a change that's happened pretty quickly. In 2019, there were only 6 head coaches in the Premier League, but by 2025, there were 14. A clear indication that more and more clubs are moving towards a model where the guy in charge is actually only really in charge on the pitch. And the way things are going, it might not be long before all 20 clubs have got head coaches, and the job position of football manager in the top flight is no more.
It is indeed the Sunday session. We are live on talkSPORT with me, Sam Ellard, and the former Arsenal winger, Perry Groves. We're live with you until 6 o'clock this evening. Then we're handing over to live commentary of Soccer Aid this evening at the London Stadium. The Women's FA Cup final has just got underway. 6 minutes played. It's Brighton 0, Man City 0, heading back to Charlotte Richardson very, very shortly. If you like your cricket, the IPL final is live on talkSPORT 2 right now. RCB winning the toss, deciding to have a bowl first. Gujarat Titans 11 without loss. That's on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Though we are going to carry on the conversation about the Champions League final. It was 1-1 after 90 minutes. It went to extra time. It went to penalties. PSG winning on penalties. They go back to back, and Arsenal still searching for that first European trophy. Do you want some good news, Perry Groves?
Always.
We have an Arsenal fan who's phoned up to maybe come on and be nice to you and say some nice things about your beloved Arsenal football club.
Bit of Guna bonding.
Kieran is the Arsenal fan. Imagine the irony if he comes on and just slacks off the club now.
He's got to go.
He's got to go. He's overrated. Get rid of him. Kieran's called 03717 223344. Kieran, how are you?
How you doing, lads? You all right?
Hello, Kieran.
Hello, mate. Perry, absolute legend, mate. Absolute legend.
Thanks, mate.
Love listening to you, mate. Love listening to you, mate. But listen, I live in America. I was watching the game yesterday, and listen, Arsenal played the way I thought we were going to play. Right, we weren't going to go out there and play expansive football. That's just not what we've been doing this season. And I mean, PSG, fair play to them. They won it. It wasn't like they absolutely battered us and dominated us. And I just think a lot of the fans that are giving it all the bigging, right? I just don't really care about that, really. Arsenal this season, and we've said it time and time again, we've played expansive football, got absolutely nowhere. We ran out results this season. We won the Premier League. okay, we got close to winning the Champions League. I don't see any reason why we couldn't get to the final in a couple of years' time. A good few additions this summer on the left, maybe another central midfielder, maybe another striker. We could get back there again, mate. We could do it. Like, I just think, if you're an Arsenal fan, just ignore all them naysayers, mate.
Kieran, what was the mood like? Obviously, excitement during the game, going 1-0 up after Kai Havertz was a brilliant finish. But then when the game finished and we lose on penalties, what was the mood like with all the gooners that were around you?
Yeah, I mean, obviously a lot of people were disappointed, mate. I tend not to watch it with American fans. I don't like saying that, but I just can't listen to American fans talk to me about football, so I try and watch
Soccer.
it. I was actually watching it with a couple of Irish lads yesterday, so they were giving me all the bigger. But no, obviously a few people were disappointed, and then you get some idiots there, mate, wearing Neymar shirts and whatnot. So American fans giving it all the bigger. But yeah, it was a bit muted. There was a lot, obviously, being in the UK watching it, mate. Obviously people were gutted as well. There were a lot of Arsenal fans, in fairness.
Losing a Champions League final was painful, I think, then having to listen to American fans try and give their 2 pence worth on soccer. I hope you just went home, Kieran, and thought, you know what, I'm done for the evening. I'm going to move on with this.
But exactly, just spreading the word. He's spreading the football gospel.
Yeah. Whereabouts in America are you, Kieran?
Mate, honestly. I live in San Francisco.
Good. And do you enjoy over there?
Love it, mate. Yeah, love it, mate. It's just a bit of a shame about the whole football thing. Like, I couldn't really, even the Arsenal game when City lost to Bournemouth, I was at work and I couldn't really watch the game, and I've seen online all my mates celebrating, and it's just not the same, unfortunately. It's the only downside to it.
Yeah, Kieran, you know, like every football fan, you have that horrible feeling in your stomach where you keep checking your phone all the time, and you keep, like, you see the Bournemouth go 1-0 up, you think, like, then you see Haaland scores, and you think, oh, how long is there to go? But that's why football, in my opinion, is the greatest because of the tribalism, and that's why it gets in your blood.
Oh, of course, mate. Absolutely, mate. It does. And I want a group chat with the boys back home, and all the boys are giving it to each other. Like, the Arsenal fans are giving it. There's lads out there who support Liverpool who are giving it all the big, and I'm like, mate, what have you lot done this season? So anyway, it's all part of the banter. You know it is, like, Perry. It's all part of the tribalism. I love it.
Kieran, you're a good man. Thank you very much for calling 03717 223344. We've got another Arsenal fan. King's an Arsenal fan. King, you are live on talkSPORT. How are you feeling today, mate? Is it bittersweet, gutted about last night, but still proud and a day of celebration given that Arsenal are Premier League champions once again?
Yes, afternoon, guys. We got Perry as well. Obviously, I'm a bit upset that we didn't win. But at the end of the day, we done what we did. And I think we'll be back next year to win the Champions League, to be honest. And we'll win the league again. But what I wanted to say is, and also, I'm on my way to the parade as well.
Good man.
Which a lot of Chelsea fans, Liverpool fans, and Man U fans can't do. They're all washed,
That's true.
Yeah?
That's true.
When's the last time have they won the Prem? That's what they really need to ask themselves, rather than putting on PSG shirts on Twitter for PSG. It's a bit of a wash mentality, but you get what I'm saying. We're built different. But proud of the boys. Brought the Premier League back where it belongs, and man, I'm very excited for next season, to be honest.
Jock King, if you'd have said at the beginning of the season, if I'd have offered you, we all know as Arsenal fans that Arteta had to win either the Premier League or the Champions League because of the build-up and the pressure that he was under. Which one would you have taken at the beginning of the season? That means Champions League because he
Nah, you know what? Yes, I want the Champions League because we haven't won it, but I think the Prem because it's been so long that we haven't won it. So I probably would say the Prem, to be honest, and then go and collect the Champions League afterwards.
I want you to be 100% honest with me, right? Have you always backed Arteta? There was a 2001-2002 season at the beginning where we lost the first three, we didn't score a goal, lost at Brentford, 5-0 at Man City, lost at Chelsea, and he was under massive pressure in the Norwich game at home. And Aubameyang scored from about 6 inches, didn't he? We won it 1-0. There was a groundswell going, I would say it was 50-50 that Arsenal fans wanted Arteta out. Where was you?
To be honest, I wasn't really one of these people that was going overboard. I want Arteta out of this nonsense. Because at the end of the day, at that time, who was really available to take his place? So I think things are logical rather than an emotional state. So for me, I was a supporter of backing the manager. See what I'm trying to say? And now look, he's won the Prem.
Thank you very much for the call. By the way, what's it like to be called King? Like, is it quite cool, like walking into places and being like, yeah, my name's King, deal with it?
Yeah, King, and we're also King of England as well. So.
There we go. Is that your real name, by the way?
Do you put yourself under a little bit of pressure, though? Was you self-anointed?
That's actually my real name.
King, really? That's cool. Like, being called Sam's so boring when you want to be called King.
You're going to change it?
I don't know. I think, you know...
You can change it to Prince.
My middle name... I got two middle names, Benjamin and Ernest. And my dad...
go for Ernest.
My dad wanted to call me Ernie Ellard, but my mum pushed back and said, no, absolutely not. And I think being called Ernie Ellard, I think just sounds a bit more fun than Sam Ellard.
That means you have to go and get a milk float, which is one for the teenagers.
But I've heard that so many times. I know what you
really?
mean, Barry Groves,
right.
yeah. Jake is a Liverpool fan. He's called 03717223344. Jake, do you want to speak about the game last night, or you want to speak about Arne Slot and what's next for Liverpool Football Club?
Oh, no, mate. We can only speak about game last night. I woke up with a right smile on my face this morning. Football won, didn't they, after all?
Why did football win?
Well, you know, Arsenal didn't play to win, did they? They just played to not lose, basically. And I think Perez joins a long list of former Arsenal players that they love talking about how good Arsenal are, but when they lose, they seem to get incredibly triggered. I've listened to the last few phone calls, and Perez told a couple of guys that he wasn't bothered about their clubs and energy this, energy that.
I don't think Perry's triggered. I think Perry's just defending his football club, isn't he?
Perry, on the phone there, you sound quite triggered to me.
I'm not bothered about. I don't get.
You're not bothered.
Why are you talking like that?
Winning Europe isn't for everybody, Perry. That's all I'll say, mate. Winning Europe is not for everybody.
Do you know what's amazing? How it can be so chirpy when Liverpool have been so bad all season.
Oh, mate, we're shocking.
But I don't take... You know what?
We can all have in common as the rest of England is we can all hate Arsenal.
But I'm not bothered that you're shocking. I don't waste emotion.
You're not bothered, but I think you are, Perry.
What, about Liverpool? No, I'm not. It doesn't. I don't take great solace.
Arsenal losing last night, mate.
PSG were the better side.
By far.
No, not by far.
On one side on that football field, it was a game of attack and defence. Arsenal set up as a training drill.
Yeah, because there's other ways that you can approach football. You don't have to be... If we'd have gone free-flowing, it could have been 6-2. And you're talking professional sport.
Like it wasn't that Chelsea game, right, Jake? Remember when Chelsea went in there and they were quite open, quite expansive, ended up conceding 5?
Oh, mate, we've done it. The PSG, a fantastic side, but it is just funny to hear all these ex-Arsenal players. You know, it's as I said, fellas, just winning Europe in for everybody. But you can try again next year if you get an easy draw again. You know.
Well, you can try and win the Premier League.
We've done it plenty more times than you, mate. So I think we'll do it plenty more times.
Who's the Premier League champions at the moment?
It is Arsenal, unfortunately.
Thanks very much. That's it. Champions. So we need to say.
Jake, the Liverpool fan, thank you very much for calling 03717223344. Let's go back to the Arsenal Trophy Parade. Will Hobbs is there for talkSPORT.
North London forever. These streets are our own. North London's champions, London's champions, and England's champions. The bus carrying the Premier League champions is arriving in the heart of North London. The Holloway Road is booming, it's bouncing, it's rocking. This is feverish, this is fervent, this is historic, this is victorious, and here they are now. What a 24 hours these boys have had. Andrea Berta front and centre, how crucial he's been. Josh Karonke, heart and centre. And Ben White, of course, as you'd expect, right at the back, just chilling, a cheeky smile, just soaking up the rays of glory, of love, of triumph through adversity. A club completely gutted 7 years ago by Mikel Arteta, a former player. He transformed the style, he transformed the culture. An 8th place finish, another 8th, a 5th losing out to Tottenham in the Champions League, 3 second place finishes, but just like Sir Alex Ferguson at Manchester United, the 7th season was the one. And can this be the start of a dynasty in English football for surely and arguably the biggest club in London? People cannot believe what they're seeing. All generations, all ethnicities, so many internationals everywhere, nationalities from all over, represented today by Arsenal Football Club, Mikel Arteta's Arsenal. This is his title, it's Declan Rice's title, it's Gabriel's title. How will he be feeling now? I think he'll be feeling a lot better today than he did yesterday, Sam Ellard. What scenes in North London. Finally, the full Arsenal family celebrating in complete jubilation together.
Will Hobbs saying what scenes? I feel like a lot of people say what scenes and they're just over-exaggerating and it's not really great scenes. But I can assure you, and the people watching on YouTube will know this as well, Perry, and on your smart TVs, the scenes there looked absolutely brilliant. Good on Will Hobbs, by the way, because he literally got not too far away, did he, from the Arsenal buses that were going
run over for a minute.
Yeah, I know.
And to be fair, good to see Gunnosaurus milking it.
So I loved it. There was 4 buses went through. And then the last bus that went through, the last person you saw or animal you saw was the Gunnosaurus.
I think that's David Hillier in the Gunnosaurus trying to just get himself onto the.
He would do anything, wouldn't he, to get on?
The thing what will be for the Arsenal players, obviously when you're in it, and obviously you're playing, and you get the support when you're at the Emirates, and you see Arsenal fans everywhere, and obviously they've been celebrating since the Bournemouth Man City game. That will blow the Arsenal players' minds. When they see how many people have come out on all the streets completely littered with Arsenal fans, right along every road we've seen there, isn't there? Probably, 4 or 5 deep, and then you're getting into the main bits. That will blow them. That's a moment that will stay with their careers and their lives forever. And they'll have there is a togetherness with Arsenal fans and their players. And because the Arsenal fans know that the players actually care. They care about the club. They care about the badge. The connection has been enhanced because you've got players like Bukayo Saka, who's come through the Ellard Academy, with Lewis Skelly, obviously Max Dallman, who's about 12 and a half at the minute, and he on the bench, obviously Rich Eze, who got released and has come back and is an Arsenal fan. So there's connections all over the place. But I was lucky enough to be on 2 open-top bus parades, and said there was people jumping out of the trees and getting in top, whatever. It blew our minds how many people we had. The last bit was at the Islington Town Hall. And you would have thought it was the world's biggest boy band that had come, honestly, because it blew us away, how much it meant to the Arsenal fans. And that's what you get from the pictures there. And you can hear, obviously, celebrations, and you hear the atmosphere. And even yourself, you went, wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was great. Great camera work as well, by the way. How many people, you have to guess how many people do you reckon
I think
on yours?
It was probably, there was about 200,000, 250,000, which was unreal. But football now has gone to different levels, because when we played, if you followed football, you'd know who footballers were. Now you don't have to follow football to know who the footballers are, because they're up there now with pop stars and with film stars, with their profiles.
Yeah, my sister often asks me about Jack Grealish.
Oh, we go. And she wouldn't be in a minority with Jack Grealish, to be fair. I used to get
good calves.
Exactly, yeah.
Back to Will Hobbs throughout the course of the afternoon, but now to Wembley for the Women's FA Cup final. Brighton taking on Man City. Charlotte Richardson, how's it started?
Well, we're approaching the halfway point of the opening 45. It's Brighton 0, Manchester City 0. This is, of course, the last piece of silverware to be settled this season, and Brighton are enjoying the better of the game. There is such an electricity whenever they're coming forward, a roar of noise each time they do. And I'm just watching their captain take a shot from range. That is one of the chances that they've been able to carve out earlier on in the match. Frank Kirby, the only Brighton player to have played in an FA Cup final before, had a shot from inside the box, blocked by City's defence. City really have failed to get going, not even out of first gear yet. Brighton 0, Manchester City 0.
Thanks, Charlotte. Next on the Sunday session.
You left me with memories I can't erase. Your touch still echoes in every space. Now I see truth behind your face.
Sounds of the weekend. This is from Garcia, the Arsenal fan, on the Hencapié story, where he was left bare after his trousers got pulled down, and this song is called Left Me Bare. I mean, that might be the most accurate song for the story of all time, Perry.
That's not even tenuous. Normally we have tenuous ones. That's route 1.
Hencapié was left bare. This is called Left Me Bare. Keep your song suggestions coming in on 81089, and keep your calls coming in on the Champions League final 03717 223344.
Now I'm learning to
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take their time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably they got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind. And very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract.
Sounds of the weekend on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
Hold on, don't try to do me, don't. Money, 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 must be funny in the rich man's world.
What a switch, by the way, from DJ Khaled to ABBA.
It's a smorgasbord of musical talent, isn't it? And musical knowledge. Have you ever been to Stockholm?
No.
Stockholm has one of the best museums in the world. It's the ABBA Museum.
Okay.
So you float, it's all different islands, Stockholm. So you float over to it, all the ABBA clothes and whatever, and you can actually dress as ABBA and then start singing there. So it's unreal.
Do you have any interesting facts about DJ Khaled for us?
DJ Khaled?
Yeah.
Yeah, he started as a young DJ with his own decks. Yeah, in his bedroom.
Yeah.
And he was playing like a lot of Motown and soul music, and then he obviously made his way up the ladder.
There we go. Doesn't sound as convincing as the ABBA one, but I'll take your word for it. Ahead is the Sunday session on talkSPORT. Sam Ellard, Perry Groves. Sounds of the weekend. Nkapia getting attention after a wardrobe malfunction and Atletico Madrid's joke transfer offer for Lamine Yamal. We have there DJ Khaled shining and also ABBA money, money, money. We have some breaking transfer news coming into us, Perry. Manchester United are closing in on an agreement to sign the Atalanta midfielder Ederson. talkSPORT understands the parties are in advanced talks with confidence a deal will be reached. Man United are in no rush and have remained disciplined in negotiations for the Brazilian, who's been on their radar since 2024. Reports in Italy have suggested the deal is worth as high as £43 million, yet talkSPORT understands Man United looking to strike a deal at significantly below this number, closer to £35 million. Ederson only has 1 year left on his contract and has already agreed terms on a 5-year contract with Manchester United. He is a box-to-box midfielder, someone that can really break through the lines, get into the final third, progress the ball up the field, kind of a jack of all trades, really. Got lots of different things in his locker. When you look at that Man United team, they had a good transfer window last year, had a good season, Carrick did a really, really good job. When you look at the areas to improve, I mean, that kind of midfield is kind of the obvious one, isn't it, right?
Yeah, well, obviously Casemiro leaving, and he had a better season last season, where about 18 months ago, it looked like his legs were falling off. It looked like he was running on treacle, didn't he? But obviously Michael Carrick brought him back in, played him alongside Kobe Mainoo, and he could say he could be his shepherd where he could talk him through games. So you said there, it looks like Michael Carrick is going to go like a 4-2-3-1. The thing with Michael Carrick is he's done a brilliant job, and 100% he deserves the chance to be Manchester United manager for like getting him in the top 4. In the end, it was fairly easy, wasn't it? So, but now he's going to have to play a different style of football. We're talking about styles. I don't care what football he plays, but Manchester United fans are used to 2 wingers, say free-flowing attacking football, where last season Manchester United were better when they had less possession. They were better hitting teams on the counter-attack. And I saw him do a brilliant job at the Emirates. Tactically, absolutely spot on. Obviously, Arsenal got it back to 2-2, and then Cunha getting his like worldie winner with the instep of his right foot. But so there just different expectations on his style of football.
Barry, the Man United fan, has called and go to him very, very shortly. Just one more for you on that United midfield. There have been lots of talks of United and City both being linked with Elliot Anderson. Possibly the fee could be around 90 to 100 million pounds. No doubt about it. Top midfield player. Do you think he's worth that amount of money?
Yep, he's ready to go to the next. I thought that it would be Anderson or Adam Wharton, but they're both sort of. Adam Wharton maybe plays a little bit deeper, and he's the one who like gets it ticking over and he just floats around. Where if you look at Anderson, he's a bit busier. He like goes and looks for the ball and gets on it. Where Adam Wharton's very clever, where he waits for the game to come to him. So I thought it'd be one of those two. But if they're getting Edison as well, so are they going to get Edison and Anderson?
I think it's going to be two. I think they'll want Edison plus maybe a bit more of a natural kind of defensive-minded number six. I think so, yeah. Barry, the Man United fan, is called 03717223344. Barry, do you like that news? Edison being close to being announced a Manchester United player?
Yeah, really good news. We definitely need to strengthen that area. I really hope we get Anderson as well, though. He was really good against us at Old Trafford a week or two ago. So, yeah, if we got those two, that would be a great start to the summer.
Baz, does it bother you, the style of football, or you just want to win? Because, as I just said there, you were better under Carrick when other teams had possession, so you could hit them on the counter-attack. Do you think he needs to change it, or are you just about winning games?
No, not at all. I like seeing Man United play like that. I mean, obviously, we don't want to be in a position where we're getting 30% of the ball in matches, 40% of the ball in matches, but when we're in matches and we're getting 45 to 50% of the game and we're hitting teams on a break, that's great to see. That's what I want to see as a Man United fan. Because the best goals over the years have been Man United breaking away fast and scoring goals. So to me, the style's really important, but obviously Carrick's done a great job of winning as well.
And I think you're going to see Matheus Cunha go on to even another level, because I've been lucky enough to see him play, obviously, for Wolves, and he's come to you. He looks like a player. Sometimes that Man United shirt can be a little bit heavy on players, the expectation. When Cantona came to you, he put his collars up, didn't he? He was like, this is me, this is where I should be.
He doesn't like confidence, does he?
I think Cunha's exactly the same.
Yeah, I do. I think he's definitely got the skills, Cunha. I do think we need a bit more from him next year. I've watched a lot of the games. I watch every Man United game that's televised and get to 1 or 2 a season. I think we need a little bit more from both Mbeumo and Cunha. Mbeumo came back from AFCON and didn't really hit his straps. Chances were going to miss a little bit. But for me, great signings. They did the job last year. They've got us to third. I think we just need a little bit more from both if we're going to kick on next season.
Also, by the way, good improvisation there from Barry, because he actually phoned up to talk about Arsenal.
All right, okay.
We had some breaking transfer news come in. I've thrown you the question like your talkSPORT that is.
You should do the media.
You've dealt with it like an absolute pro, Barry. I mean, you could have easily gone, I don't want to talk about Man United, Sam. Mind your own business. You did call up, though, to talk about Arsenal.
Yeah, I did. I'm a massive Man United fan. Well, last night I watched the match. And I've been listening to some of your callers. I wanted Arsenal to win last night. And my call was purely about class of clubs. I just thought the tweets that came out last night from certain clubs or the posts or whatever they were a bit embarrassing and they just lacked class. Like, Arsenal have had a fantastic season. They've had a successful year and they were a kick away from doing an unbelievable double. And then to see the tweets coming out from the likes of Palace, who were claiming that they're European champions, from Tottenham and Chelsea. Chelsea said something about the House of Trophies in London. I just thought, it's embarrassing. Chelsea were 10th. Tottenham was 17th. De Zerbi said something along the lines of staying up is a better feeling than winning a league. It's just embarrassing. And what I actually thought is, what I would have liked to have seen from Man United, Man City and Liverpool, teams who I think would be have a bit more class about them, would have been a post that actually said something along the lines of, well done, like on your season, commiserations, we'll be after you next season. That would have been a much better tweet than any of the other clubs that came out with absolute rubbish from 17th, 10th, and Palace. Fair enough, they've won a trophy, they've done really well. I'm pleased for them that they had that one night. But let's be honest, they won the third tier European trophy that was basically the let's let them have a go in Europe trophy. So yeah, I just honestly
It's got a ring to that, Barry.
Yeah, the thing is, Baz, I'm with you. I don't know. I'm of a certain persuasion, certain age where it's. Don't you think it's just the era that we're in? It's just the era of obviously social media and the clickbait, and because I don't think I get it. I get that they're having digs, whatever. I haven't taken like offence to it. Do you know what I mean? It's
Don't
like,
take it personally,
really?
Perry.
Yeah, no, but you're like, all right, really. Some of it can be quite funny. Some of it's like, if it was me, I wouldn't be tweeting about another club. It wouldn't bother me about what was going on at another club.
You know, and what we have to remember is it's sport. So where's like the sportsmanship? I played a lot of rugby when I was younger, so like to me, sportsmanship is drilled into you at a young age. Like respect the referee, respect your opposition, and shake their hands at the end of the game. These are Premier League clubs with social media departments tweeting things like that. I just thought to myself, do you know what? You should be setting the example for all of the other all the other clubs in the land and your fans. I actually thought like tweets like that could heighten tensions between fans, and what can that lead to? So I just thought it was embarrassing.
Barry, really, really good call, mate. Thanks for that. Enjoy your afternoon. Barry, the Man United fan, calling 03717 223344. Back to the Women's FA Cup final and back to Wembley. Charlotte Richardson, any danger of a goal?
It's still Brighton 0, Manchester City 0. The Seagulls have been the better team, hungrier for the ball, more direct in open play, bold and brave, and this might be their first major final, but there are certainly no signs of nerves on their Wembley debut. Fran Kirby, the 5-time FA Cup winner, at the heart of their most dangerous opportunity. She forced an experienced City backline into action on a number of occasions, and if there was a little bit more composure across that Brighton front line, I think they would be at least a goal up here. City have failed to get going. I think I can count on one hand the number of meaningful touches Bunny Shaw, the game's most expensive player, has had, although she is dangerously, from Brighton's perspective, the kind of player who only needs a second to turn a game. It's Brighton 0, Manchester City 0.
Charlotte, obviously we've got the game on here in the studio on the massive screen, and I've been so impressed with Brighton, how positive they've been, and you said they've been on the front foot, and every time they look up, it looks like they've created a chance. Would the worry be that because they haven't been clinical, they haven't punished Man City, and they could pay for it in the end?
Exactly that, and there's a cliche in football, isn't there? You need to make the most when you're on top of a game, and especially on cup finals, especially when you've got this underdog label. Manchester City actually played a bit like this in the semi-final against Chelsea. Chelsea looked like they were coasting through up until the 86th minute, and then City turned the game around. City have got that amount of talent in their team, the likes of Bunny Shaw, who I mentioned, Viviana Miedema, who's on the bench, who can come and turn a game like this. So for Brighton, they've been getting in some really good positions, some nice bits of territory, some really good build-up play. The press that you mentioned earlier on, Perry, has been working to such good effect for them, but they need to see that net ripple. They really want to make the most of this positive first half and go in with a bit of an advantage before half-time.
Charlotte, thank you very much. Back with you very shortly. 9 to go until half-time in the Women's FA Cup final. Brighton 0, Man City 0. Next on the Sunday session.
Superb. The Whole of the Moon. The Waterboys. What a song.
That's from Tracy, the Chelsea fan. We're asking for your text at 89. Our two sounds of the weekend today. Pedro and Cappy having a wardrobe malfunction in the Arsenal-Burnley game, and also a cheeky offer from Atletico de Barca for Lamine Yamal, offering some Bad Bunny tickets. Keep your calls coming in, though, on the Champions League final, and get your text coming in on our sounds of the weekend. 1889 on the text, 03717 223344. Women's FA Cup final, Brighton 0, Man City 0. 37 minutes gone. Live IPL commentary of the final is on talkSPORT 2 right now. 7 overs gone. Goodyear at Titans, 50 for 2.
as I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team, do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet. And the late Osama bin Laden. Why that fan base would be so detested, I have no idea. No, you know what it is? It's we live in a country I like this about our country, but it's tall poppy syndrome, right? When we were losing and choking, everybody loved Arsenal, right? For the last 22 years, there's nothing other football fans have enjoyed more or loved more or celebrated more than our repeated choking and failures. And now we've actually climbed the summit. Now we've become Premier League champions again.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
The Sunday session on talkSPORT, Sam Ellard and Perry Groves with you. Now this Monday at 4 p.m, someone is winning the trip of a lifetime to the 2026 FIFA World Cup in Dallas. talkSPORT and Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, are sending you and a mate to see England's opening game against Croatia on June 17th. We're talking return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets and the official Adidas match ball, the Tronda, all covered. Ready to get that winning feeling? Here's how to enter. For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. Monday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a talkSPORT promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. Back to Wembley, Charlotte Richardson, the opening goal in the Women's FA Cup final.
Brighton 0, Manchester City 1. There is a reason why Bunny Shaw gets paid the big bucks. Shaw breaks the deadlock to put the WSL champions ahead in the FA Cup final, and Alex Greenwood crossed from the left-hand side, whipped into the 6-yard box. The keeper didn't claim with enough authority, and Shaw capitalised, nodding in to score her 5th goal in the competition. Big players make moments matter. Bunny Shaw has done so against the run of play. Brighton 0, Manchester City 1.
Charlotte, the keeper's got to do better, no? I mean, she comes, she gets nowhere near it. She's got to be stronger.
And she wasn't actually under all that amount of pressure. I know the presence of Bunny Shaw in the 6-yard box is intimidating enough, but as you say, you have to come out, you have to claim that. You need to set the tone that those outfield players have been doing all half for Brighton. It's such a disappointing moment for them. They had been so fantastic, especially out of possession, and now they're chasing, trying to find an equaliser before the break. But as champions do, they make the most of when they get their chances, and that's what Bunny Shaw's just done for Manchester City.
Yep, Charlotte, thank you. 43 gone, Brighton 0, Man City 1.
Do you know what? None of those who's in goal see for Brighton. I don't think she's aware of where Bunny Shaw is, because when she gets caught underneath the ball, and it's as she looks like she's going to jump, and Shaw just gets a jump before, didn't she? And gets ahead to it. It's a brilliant ball from Greenwood.
Yeah. And time to run quite well, didn't she?
Exactly, but the big worry for Brighton is Man City women have gone in front 23 times this season and they've won 22. So there's a big mountain to climb, and that's Bunny Shaw's 11th header of the season.
Wow.
So you know she's going to be a threat at the far post.
A long way to go then for Brighton to get back into this game. City have had a great campaign, haven't they, winning the WS title. But yeah, Brighton, though, well, they should be feeling confident going into the game, beating some big teams already this season, Perry, like West Ham, Arsenal, Liverpool, earlier on in this competition. Back to Charlotte Richardson in a couple of minutes at half-time. We've got lots of callers, Perry, who have called 03717 22 3344. They want to get involved on the show and talk the Champions League final. And we go to Pat, the Man City fan. Afternoon, Pat. How are you, mate?
Hello, Pat.
Good afternoon, guys. How you doing?
I'm good.
Good yourself?
Yeah, good. Thank you. I was going to ring up, I am ringing up about Gabriel wanting to take the 5th penalty in the Champions League final, but I have to take to task the Arsenal guy who rang up. He's on his way to the parade, who said the Premier League is back where it belongs. Well, I hope he's a passenger, not a driver, because he's obviously had a couple of sherbets, bless him. I'm not sure what he means by back where it belongs. It's been going 30-odd years. They've won it 4 times, including this year. So well done to them. The league doesn't fit.
Pat, do you think your dynasty's finished? Now Pep's gone? Football cyclical? I think it's the end.
I don't know, Perry. Nobody knows, really. We'll wait and see. It's been an incredible 10 years, but I'm not quite sure what Premier League back where it belongs means. That's all I'm saying. If it belongs anywhere, it probably belongs at Old Trafford, as much as that pains me to say. But it certainly doesn't belong in North London. It does this year, but not. It's not the home of the Premier League.
Don't you think, Pat? It was 22 years of desperation, because there was a period with Arsenal where, and when you're a fan, you've had it with Man City having unbelievable success, right? The trophies, I think it's 17, isn't it, with Pepper?
I've lost count, Perry.
It's 20, including the Community Shield, whatever. But what happens is and my boys are 36 and 34, you then start thinking that is normal, that winning Premier Leagues, that winning doubles is normal, and winning FA Cups, but it isn't. So I think what the Arsenal fan was sort of saying is it's more relief, do you know what I mean, that we've managed to win it again.
Yeah, perhaps he just used the wrong words, maybe, I don't know. But look, Gabriel wanting to take the 5th penalty in the Champions League final, right? The first penalty, the earliest time you can win a shootout is penalty number 3, okay? It doesn't happen often, not at that elite standard anyway. So penalty number 4, penalty number 5 are likely to be, you've got to score it to stay in it, or you're about to score it to win it. He's never taken a penalty, apparently. I don't know. I'm not that interested in what he's done or not. But was it, for me, it's not even bravery, it's just stupidity, to ask to do it. And for Arteta to let him do it. He obviously wanted to cement himself in folklore. Well, he's done that.
Pat, I agree with you on that. I'm sure that...
I've got to totally disagree.
No, I can't see in my mind how Gabriel is more likely to score a penalty than
it's not about Gabriel. This group of players have no egos. They're not big-time Charlies. It's not Gabriel going, I want to take the 5th because I want to score the equalising penalty, I want to score the winning penalty. It's him showing leadership qualities, is saying, he would have said to Arteta when they've trained all through the week and taken their penalties, Gaffer, I want to take a penalty. Now, whether it's Arteta's choice that he's taken the 5th one, because Arteta is a control freak. There's no way that Gabriel has usurped him and said, I'm taking the 5th one.
I understand he wants to be a leader, Perry, and I get that and I admire that, because he could have easily sat in the back and looked at his training.
There's loads of players that want to take one.
Would you not just have to make sure that the best 5 penalty kick takers are taking the top 5?
Because we're even on the bench.
Of the 11 players that are available to pick from.
But that's what I'm saying. That would have been a analyst, that would have been the coaches. They'd have gone through it. The detail that they go in, and you just think that because Gabriel says, Gaffer, I've been brilliant on my penalties all week, I want to take the 5th one. Arteta goes, okay. Arteta would have chosen 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, because he's missed, it looks like it's the wrong decision. But as he said in his interview, he was proud that actually someone said, yes, I will take a penalty. Because it is, full well you're putting yourself up. When Martinelli walked up, most Arsenal fans were thinking, oh, I'm not sure about this. And he took his penalty really cool. Declan Rice's was a massive one because that got us back in it at 2-2. So I would never, ever criticise anybody for taking.
I'm not criticising Gabriel. I was watching, doing a live watch along last night, and I looked at the players that are still available, and you've got a centre half in Gabriel, and you've got Martin Zubimendi, who is, technically a very, very good player. You've got a winger who's used to shooting and scoring goals. I just thought in my mind that surely those two have got to be more likely, more confident.
No, but it's not that simple. Trust me, it's not. Because I'll give you an example. I was lucky to play with one of the all-time Arsenal greats, Alan Smith, right up front. He should be put up there with the Bergkamps and the Henrys and the Wrighties. Smudge had 2 golden boots in the 2 years we won the title in 88, 89, 90, 91. Took 1 penalty in those, I think, 43, 44 goals. And that was against Manchester United when we'd already won the title, and he did it to get his hat-trick because we wanted to get the golden boot. George Graham used to say to him, Smudge, and Smudge to himself, take penalties. If you take penalties, for us, that guarantees you 5 or 6 goals a season. Alan Smith was like, I don't fancy penalties. So not every player fancies taking penalties.
So just because you're a winger doesn't mean you're necessarily...
And a midfield player...
You're more confident taking a penalty than a centre-back.
Exactly, yeah. I mean, you look at... Everybody remembers the John Terry penalty, don't they? Where obviously, unfortunately, slipped and missed. Ball, yeah, exactly. But he's had a big enough character, obviously, to bounce back from that.
Yeah, and this won't be lost on Arsenal fans, but I thought Gabriel last night was absolutely outstanding, by the way. He won absolutely everything, didn't he?
But he would have been, again, that of players in games, he would have been full of confidence because of how well that he played. Yeah. So he probably walked, which is that horrible walk from the centre circle to the penalty spot, where I've spoken to players who've taken penalties in big games. Paul Merson, who's like one of my best mates, took a penalty in 1998, obviously against Argentina. And he said, your legs go. Your legs start to...
My legs were going, and I was sat in the studio last night, Perry.
They start tensing up. So I know it's easy to say, technically, other players should have taken it, but there's a lot of psychology that comes into it. And they're human beings. You're going to feel pressure. Some players are going to go, no, I don't fancy it. Some players are going to go, yep, I do. And Gabriel was one who went, yes, with no doubt, I fancy it. And unfortunately, it didn't work.
We will be taking more calls very shortly on the Champions League final. But next on the Sunday session... Bit of Lady Gaga fashion from Billy from Cheshire. Obviously, this is after the Hincapie wardrobe malfunction when his shorts ended up around his ankles and everything was there to be seen. Do you like Lady Gaga, Perry?
Yeah, not bad. Yeah,
a bit rogue, isn't she?
Pardon?
She's a bit rogue, isn't she?
Well, yeah.
Bit of a character.
She's like the modern-day Madonna.
She's a what, sorry?
Modern-day Madonna.
A modern-day Madonna. Hold that thought. A goal at Wembley, Charlotte Richardson.
It's Brighton 0, Manchester City 2, from assist provider to goal scorer. It's captain fantastic Alex Greenwood, who's been so exceptional all season in defence for Manchester City. They were awarded a free kick at a really tantalising position central of the goal. The City captain stepped up and found the bottom corner. It's a dagger blow for Brighton. Manchester City double their advantage right on the stroke of half-time. Brighton 0, Manchester City 2.
Yeah, big goal there. We're back to Charlotte Richardson very, very shortly. And next up on the Sunday session, we're going to wrap up our final thoughts on the Champions League final.
Big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Can I get congratulations?
I'm happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Do you know how pathetic this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
straight in. Yeah, bro, at least like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, bro, straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation.
Nobody.
It's the fact that we're having this conversation.
He's coming in for a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war,
honestly.
Crazy.
I just can't believe it. I've witnessed you in real life. You've walked through the door like the cat.
You want me to come in here? It's 30 degrees outside. How do you want me to walk in?
I think you should come in here very reticent and basically.
Sounds of the weekend on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
Imagine if someone was just putting on talkSPORT for the first time this afternoon and that's the first thing they hear.
Or the first thing they see is you doing your finger pointing down with the kids dance.
I'm not sure what I was doing there, if I'm being completely honest with you. But it didn't look cool, and I'm really, really embarrassed that I did that, Perry. I can only apologise.
Have you thought about DJing?
No, what do you think? Do I give off DJ energy?
For the minute there, you look like you thought you was Fatboy Slim when you was trying to get the crowd energised.
I basically want to be Majestic. I want to be the next Majestic. I want that to happen, but I don't think I've
Majestic as being brilliant or Majestic as being DJ Majestic?
Well, both really, yeah. I mean, Majestic is Majestic. Yeah. He is also Majestic as being majestic, if that kind of makes sense. That's Embarrassed. That was from Tio from Watford on the Nkapie story.
Who by?
Leave me alone.
Who's it by?
Fred again, leave me alone on the Lamine Yamal story. Thank you, Molly, the Sunderland fan. Perry, it's half-time at Wembley. Back to Charlotte Richardson. Come on now.
Brighton 0, Manchester City 2. After a slow start, the WSL champions produced 2 moments of quality to take a massive step towards securing a first domestic double. Bunny Shaw's header after 38 minutes dented a strong Brighton start. Shaw, influential as always, was later fouled on the outskirts of the area, an inviting position for a player as technically gifted as Alex Greenwood. The magic from her boots set up Shaw's opener. Direct from this dead ball situation, she doubles City's lead. Brighton 0, Manchester City 2.
Thank you, Charlotte. Perry, just a couple of questions. I had a lot of callers on and some great calls today. Question to you on Arsenal. So much has been made this season about Arsenal's setup and how good they've been defensively. And obviously some people say Arsenal need to be better going forward, etc., etc. What do you think this Arsenal team is going to look like next season? How do you think Mikel Arteta would like his Arsenal team to look next season?
I think there'll be more calmness. As I said before, I think that nervousness, that anxiety, that desperation of the 22 years we've built up, especially over the last 4 seasons, coming second 3 times. And they'd have been aware. Obviously, I was at the Etihad, and I said I was at the Etihad when we got beat 2-1, and the game could have gone either way. And we actually went for it at the Etihad. You know, we put it on Man City at 1-1. Ezek's inside the post. Havertz misses a chance. Man City win the game. It could have gone either way. I'm not saying that Man City deserved to win it. And I had that long 20-minute walk back from the Etihad to my car with all the wannabe, or all the Man City fans thinking that they're Liam Gallagher, you know, with shoulders back, like second again, like all singing. And it took me 2 hours to recover coming down the M6 of like, oh, it's doing my head in. Because they thought they'd won it, right?
Yeah.
So it's difficult to put over how those Arsenal players felt after that defeat. And I know Declan Rice, it's not done, right? And it was him saying, we got to bounce back, we got to bounce back. Next 5 games in Premier League, conceded 1 goal, 1-3, 1-0. No one gives you anything. No one gives you anything at the top of elite sport. You have to grab it. You have to prove that you're worthy. And this Arsenal group of players have proved that they're worthy of being Premier League champions. And all this nonsense as well about it's not a strong Premier League this season. The middle tier of the Premier League is the strongest it's ever been. with the Bournemouths, with the Brightons, with the Brentfords, right?
And you can say the lower part of the Premier League is still strong on paper. Teams like Nottingham Forest might have been struggling. They've
Crystal
got some
Palace.
really good players, haven't they?
No, Crystal Palace obviously go and win the Europa Conference, which is, I don't care anybody else says, same with West Ham fans, it's a major trophy, right? So they go and win their first ever European trophy with excellent managers. We've seen, obviously, Indadi Iraola looks like he could get Liverpool job. You've got Glasner, who's obviously looking to go on to a step up from Crystal Palace. So you've got young managers. No team's going to win the Premier League anymore with 95, 96 points. That's not going to happen. Even when, Liverpool, Man City, there's 99. And that's because the ones below weren't even the Arsenal sides. Do you know what I mean?
But those two teams, they were particularly
They were very strong, but the other ones weren't anywhere near their level. Where these middle tier teams have now players that can hurt you. And that's because the Premier League is so rich, because they can go and afford to buy better players. And their recruitment is unreal. Like from the Brightons, the Brentfords, the Bournemouths, their recruitment is second to none. For Arsenal's point of view, I just think you'll see a more relaxed team. I think you'll get a more relaxed feeling around the Emirates, because
it's done.
That anxiety, you've got 57,000 there with anxiety. That's going to go onto the pitch. And we saw that when we lost 2-1 against Bournemouth. That was due 100% down to nerves and anxiety. And you have to sort of get rid of that. So that's gone. What I think will happen now is Arsenal need a left winger, need someone who's very good in 1v1s, in tight areas and go past players. Probably a midfield player, but Lewis Skelly going in there might have saved him a little bit of money. And you'd probably say even maybe, and I'm a Gyökeres fan, even another centre forward, right?
Does Arteta also have to be ruthless, and the football club have to be ruthless in maybe moving some players on?
Absolutely.
Because, again, I chunked some Arsenal mates last night. They mentioned Gyökeres, the left wing. I even saw some people, and I think I don't agree with this, by the way, saying that someone like a Martin Odegaard, his levels have really dropped this season. Are you expecting there to be a lot of players that leave as well as Arsenal?
Odegaard definitely won't be leaving, because he's had his injury problems over the years. You saw what he did when he come on against West Ham, and he turned that game because he took responsibility. So I'm the captain. Obviously, sets it up for Trossard with his brilliant sort of 1-2 with himself. He is a leader, and I don't agree with people saying take the captaincy away and give it to Declan Rice, because you kill Odegaard then. Declan Rice is a leader anyway. In any top team, you need 5 or 6 players that could be captain. Captain's overrated in football, honestly, in football anyway. Most of the players don't care. Tony Adams went in prison when I was playing for Arsenal, like at the Christmas period. I couldn't tell you who took over the captaincy, and we still won. Big
leaders, big characters.
We only lost one game that season. That was because he was in prison. That was his fault, so he blamed him. But so I couldn't tell you who became captain, right? So it's not that important. I think, again, when you put that little bit at ease, I think you'll see Arsenal be a little bit more exposed. I'm not saying they're going to be gung-ho. I'm not saying they're going to be like PSG. But I think the next stage of development is, right, we're going to have to take games to teams. And if you get the strength, which I think they will, and they're not going to go and buy squad players. It's going to be players that are going to strengthen the first 11. And the squad was the strongest squad in Europe last season. I think it will get even stronger. The other teams now, what Arsenal have to do is they have to kick on. Because I mentioned before about dynasties and football being cyclical. I said 4 or 5 years ago, obviously when Man City were at their prime, at their pomp, that we had to be the next cab on the rank. So when they just started to decline, which they have, we got to make sure we're in position to hopefully take that mantle, and winning the first Premier League title will calm everybody down. I'm not saying that we're going to win it next year. I'm not saying win it, but there's a chance that this team, if they play to levels that I think they can get to, that they could win 2 of the next 3 or 3 of the next 4. But you have to keep that hunger, and because you look at Liverpool lost their hunger from last season to this season. We're going to talk about Arne Slot in a minute. And that's what Arteta, you'll see maybe Martinelli might be gone. Nwaneri, because obviously he's a youth team product, so he's like pure profit. Jesus will probably be gone. There'll probably be 4 or 5 that go. But that is how ruthless it is when you're playing, again, at the top level.
Another good thing for Arsenal is so many of the other traditional big 6 are sort of in transitions with new managers. So interesting to see how it all develops over the next couple of months. Perry, next on the Sunday session. Will those Man City fans?
That's exactly how they're walking.
Can you want to...
Parker's on, with shoulders back.
So can you sort of explain what does the walk look like?
It's easy. It's that swagger, isn't it, where you put your shoulders back, and you just sort of you're leaning back, on yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you're going back over your hips
yeah.
on the back way, and you've got that little bit of a bowl. That's giving me a bit of PTSD, to be fair. To be fair, I didn't see Noel Gallagher at Vitality. Oh, no, I did. I saw him leave after 75 minutes, to be fair.
Yeah, he was there.
But apparently he leaves after every game 75 minutes. Yeah, right.
Got to beat the traffic. That was Oasis. Don't look back in anger. Thank you, Jenny from Brighton. Sounds of the weekend. Coming up next, we're turning our attention to the weekend's other big story. Arnie Slot sacked as Liverpool manager.
Look, he was on stage last night. It was quite an emotional sort of admission, really. He said that after Brighton, I think in week 10, I came off the stage, and the incident in Manchester where he had the argument with Jan van Veen, I was sat at home and I was saying to Faith, I don't want to do it anymore. Just the crowd every week. I said to her, I'm down bad. Now, listen, he was probably out of order to do the crybaby emoji or whatever it was he was doing to Van Veen, and he got a little bit of stick for that. But did we go, as a general public, did we protect him enough? We have to remember that he's 19 years of age. And bearing in mind the way he was talking there about his mental health, and bearing in mind we had a conversation last hour about Ricky Hatton and how, we deal with these situations. Do we have to be a little bit careful with him?
We definitely have to be, because we forget he's only 19. I mean, for me, I've got a 17-year-old who's 18 in a few weeks. They're still learning about life. They've got so much to learn. They're kids. His mistakes that he's probably made, doing the crying faces, he's going to make more mistakes. He's a 19-year-old boy. Like grown men are in a crowd booing him, hurling abuse. Do you know what I mean? I played with loads of players that in training, they were fantastic players. On a game day, they couldn't handle the effect of the crowd. And
Do you think there was players that played in your dressing room
100%.
that were equally as talented and gifted, maybe better than some of those that were in the team, but they couldn't deal with the expectation?
They couldn't deal with the expectation, but also the abuse you get from the stands. The fans having a go at you, opposition fans. Not all players can handle it.
How did you deal with it?
It is the Sunday session. We are live on talkSPORT with me, Sam Ellard, and the former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. The second half of the Women's FA Cup final just got back underway. Man City leading 2-0 from the first half. Goals from Shaw and Greenwood towards the back end of that half, giving them the lead in that game. Right now over on talkSPORT 2, there's live commentary of the IPL final between Gujarat Titans and RCB. Gujarat Titans are in trouble, not off to the best of starts. They are 92 for 4 and they've still got 7 overs to go in their first innings. Live commentary on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Back to Wembley shortly, back to the Emirates shortly. Will Hobbs is there for the Arsenal Trophy Parade. But Perry Groves, for the next 10 or 15 minutes, let's just move away from last night's Champions League final and discuss the other massive story that happened sort of mid-afternoon yesterday, is that head coach Arne Slot sacked by Liverpool after 2 seasons in charge. He guided the Reds to their 20th league title in his debut season, but struggled during his second year, finishing 5th in the Premier League. Recently departed Bournemouth boss Andoni Iraola, the leading contender to replace Slot. Perry, have Liverpool made the right decision to sack Arne Slot?
Do you know what? I said that I thought, because obviously winning the title in his first season, that I thought that he deserved the benefit of the doubt. I thought, because if he'd have swapped the seasons around, where no one, not even Liverpool fans, expect him to win, and everybody says, oh, it's Jurgen Klopp's team. No, it wasn't, because Jurgen Klopp didn't win the title the season before. Do you know what I mean? So he went in, and I thought he had no ego. He didn't go, right, I'm the manager, we're going to change the way that we play. He just tweaked a little bit, where he made sure they had a couple of players that sat a little bit deeper, you know, in, whether it's Gavin Birch or whether it was McAllister or Szoboszlai, if they played, you know, sort of centre midfield. And winning the title was a major bonus because of the transition. And now they've come 5th. If it was the other way around, they come 5th and then won the title, then he'd be getting a new contract. And I think the problem that he's had, I don't think he knew his best team. I don't think he had a style of playing. You know, where they got caught in between, and sometimes in possession, it was probably a little bit slow, sort of in their build-up. He was playing players out of position. That shows you, I think, as a manager, that is a little bit sort of discombobulated, a little bit confused, sort of in their thinking. But the one thing I think he'll look back on, and he'll regret that he didn't handle it differently, when Mo Salah was as classless as what he was in January at first, and then obviously at the end of the season, it's too late by then. He should have handled that differently. So I know he went away on the Africa Cup of Nations, but if I was a manager, you've got to put your stall out, and no players are going to criticise me publicly. Come and see me in my office, and, you know, you can vent your frustrations or tell me what you think. But doing it in public, he just said, right, he's not playing. Mo Salah's not playing. You've got to set your stall out, because Mo Salah, Liverpool couldn't afford to carry him this season because he wasn't producing the numbers of what he did last season. So throw him under the bus. And again, Salah at the end of the season, where I think it was complete lack of class, when he's saying we've got to get our identity back, you know, we've got to go back to the sort of mayhem, you know, fast-paced football. I didn't know Mo Salah moan about that last season, when he had the best season he'd ever had. Now, you're talking someone who's a wide player, whose numbers are centre-forward numbers on the goal scoring. It'll never be done. You'll never see a wide player, a winger, get Mo Salah's numbers. It ain't happening. When he got his 29 goals, 18 assists, that was the best goal involvements he's had since ever. The next best was the first season that he had there, where I think he got 30 Premier League goals. So, yeah, there's just loads of different problems that if Iraola goes in, that he's got to try and handle.
Just on Slot, again, I take, you know, it feels harsh to say this to a guy that, you know, won Liverpool only their second league title in the Premier League era. But for me, I think this was the only outcome for Liverpool, because I just think last season for Liverpool, apart from the first 5 games, even the first 5 games, which Liverpool won 5 in a row, it was such a mess. And I think it felt like you were basically watching the same game for Liverpool week in, week out. And at no point in the 38-game Premier League season, 50-game season, whatever it was, did it look like that Arne Slot was capable of putting a lid on things, finding the right formation, finding the right system. It was like he was going game by game and changing things, playing fring-pong in different positions, playing verts in different positions. All the new players came in the one summer, and it was almost like Arne Slot just had no idea how to get the best out of all of them. And I just think for such a long period of time, you were watching the same weaknesses, the same deficiencies, and he looked tactically unsure on how to change things. And I've got a lot of family up in Liverpool. I've got a lot of family with season ticket holders there. And again, you can read a lot on social media, but Liverpool fans who go to the game, they said that majority of fans inside the stadium turn to the manager. And that's quite rare at Liverpool. You got Mo Salah doing what he's doing. You got players like Post. Everything was going against Arne Slot. And I think over a mess of 6 to 9 months, I just couldn't see how Liverpool could have gone into the next season with him in charge again when there's ambitions, Perry, to win the league next year.
Yeah, no, but I think what you said there, the fans.
Yeah.
Like, at every club, the fans have a massive say because if it turns toxic or goes against the manager, that's when owners normally take the pressure off themselves. That's when owners go, all right, I'll get rid of the manager, we'll get a new one in. I think there might have been conversations, obviously, Andal Iraola, he was linked with the Milan job, he's linked obviously with Bayer Leverkusen, and I think that Iraola's people, if they're in conversation, Liverpool saying, you've got to take him now, because if you don't take him now, you ain't getting him. And I think that's why it was so quick, because everybody thought, Liverpool would see it out in the summer, see what the science, see if it all sort of quiet down a little bit. But because of the way that Iraola plays, suits the way that Liverpool fans want their team to play, like more like the Klopp on the front foot, pressing, and putting teams under pressure from the front. I think that's why they've made sort of this quick decision. And you said there about Arne Slot, no one would have seen this coming. Liverpool were top of the Premier League at the end of September.
Won the first 5 games.
There was no Liverpool that beat us 1-0 with Szoboszlai's worldy free kick. There's no Liverpool fans moaning then about the style of football because you're top of the league and thinking, right, we could kick on here.
I would say, though, and that's possibly true, but in those first 5 games, despite winning all 5 games, which obviously you take, all 5 games weren't particularly good performances, and all 5 games were very late winners. I think all of them were in the 80th minute.
Yeah, but then what you say is, you're winning games without playing well. Therefore, we're going to kick on. And what happens? Liverpool didn't kick on. And if you look at they call it recruitment, basically your signings, right? They spent 450 million quid at the beginning of the season. Everybody was saying, if they get Isak, title's done. It's Liverpool. Might as well give it to them now. And I was like, calm down. It's different playing from Newcastle, Liverpool, even from those clubs. The expectations go up. He hasn't had a pre-season. He acted disgustingly when he was at Newcastle, basically going on strike, which you don't do. You move in the right way. So his legacy at Newcastle's completely gone. Puts himself under pressure. And if you look at the big signings, Isak, Kerkez, Ekitike and Wirtz, you would say that Ekitike was probably the only one that's had a decent season, getting 11 Premier League goals, 17 altogether. And then when you look at that, from the recruitment side, it didn't make sense. So you get Isak and Ekitike. That didn't make no sense.
In hindsight, I think only one of them should have been signed in that window, and Liverpool should have prioritised getting another centre-back through the door.
Yeah, because
they wanted. They had Gakey in late, but it was too late.
Yeah, they had Ekitike, so they should have gone, okay, we'll go and then prioritise. I think you had Mo Salah, legs fell off, lost his his pace, and he was getting Liverpool out of trouble. Last season, he was getting Liverpool out in games where Liverpool weren't very well. Mo Salah would do something off the cuff or do something brilliant, either score, get an assist and get him out of trouble. So his numbers drop. Virgil van Dijk is nowhere near the player that he was at his peak because, again, he's lost that half yard of pace, right? And because of that, Konate probably had one of his worst seasons for Liverpool.
First half of the season, he was awful.
Because he looked exposed. Because when you're playing with someone like Virgil van Dijk as a centre-half, right, and you have that confidence that if you make a mistake or an error, you know full well that your centre-half partner is going to cover you and get you out of trouble, it makes you even more confident. Whereas he makes a mistake, Virgil van Dijk has lost that yard to get him out of trouble. It highlights how bad Konate was. So you had those players like dropping their standards. And I still think as well, they lost their hunger because they won the title. That's why you look at what Guardiola did at Man City, where they kept going on, getting the next one, winning the next one. That actually puts it more in perspective now, how difficult it is to keep that hunger and keep that drive. And I think a lot of Liverpool players just dropped.
I have sympathy for Slot with some of the injuries. He couldn't get the 3 new signings all on the pitch at the same time. Some of the drop-off in form of some of the players was quite frankly disgraceful. I'll throw in one more name as well. What on earth happened to Alexis McAllister? I mean, it looked like he was playing with a caravan tied to his back for most of the season. But ultimately, Arne Slot is the head coach. He's responsible for the tactics, the setup, and it was an absolute mess for the majority of the season. And I just couldn't have imagined him getting another pre-season, money to spend in the summer, and I think it was right. I think the change was right, Perry. It had to be done.
Liverpool fans will be pleased because they'll know the style of Iraola and how Bournemouth play, and he makes players better individually, right? But from Iraola, people forget he didn't win for his first 9 games at Bournemouth because he was imposing his style, which is great, right? And Bournemouth would go through seasons, although they were brilliant towards the end of the season, went 19 unbeaten, but they would go through a little phase in the season where they wouldn't win for 5 or 6 games. You can't do that at Liverpool. You do that at Liverpool, if you don't win for 3 games, the pressure is on, and you're on a different spotlight.
I want to take calls. Also, Perry, other side of this break, we'll go into more detail maybe on Andoni Iraola and what he's going to bring to Liverpool. Liverpool fans, football fans, what do you make of Slot being sacked and Andoni Iraola expected to come in? 03717 223344. But we go back to Wembley, the Women's FA Cup final. Charlotte Richardson, is there any sign of Brighton get themselves back into this game?
We're 10 minutes into the second half and it's still Brighton 0, Manchester City 2. They desperately need a goal to respond to City's late first half charge, but they've been punished and they're really, really struggling now. Man City oozing calm, oozing control. They're showing exactly how champions operate, and we're having to look now at the benches. I'm like scanning right now to see if Brighton have any changes that they want to make. The player I can see beginning to warm up from Manchester City is Viviane Miedema, the WSL's all-time leading goal scorer. I think she might be coming on for the City team, so it'd be interesting to see what kind of changes have been made and what kind of impact they're going to have. Brighton 0, Manchester City 2.
Charlotte, I'm trying to picture you at Wembley in the media centre actually standing up and scanning. Like, what does that look like?
Sam.
You can sit and scan. I feel like standing up, you get a better overview. You can scan better standing up.
You know
Charlotte.
what the picture I've got in my head, Charlotte, is that you've got the binoculars of the Southampton spy, where you're just popping around for other people's heads, just looking around.
He didn't even have binoculars. He had an iPhone, didn't he? He didn't even.
Both binoculars.
He had both. He had a bit of everything. Okay, Charlotte, keep scanning, please, and we'll come back to you very, very shortly.
And I'll report accordingly.
There we go. I'm just scanning the studio to see where we're going next.
Tom Petty. No?
Tom who?
Tom Petty.
Yes, Tom Petty.
I've done you a favour there because you didn't know how to...
No. Do you know what? Some of the pronunciations I struggle with. To be fair, Tom and Petty, I had locked in, yeah.
What, Petey?
Yeah, Petty? No, Tom Petty, I got that one. Free Falling, that's from Tony from Bradford after Nkapie's shorts fell off in the game against Burnley. Another solid choice, Perry.
Loving your work time again. Just very eclectic choices.
Very on point.
Exactly, yeah. And so they always go in different tangents.
Yeah, we've gone in a few different tangents today. My favourite one was the DJ Khaled small talk to ABBA small talk. We did well there, Perry.
No, the listeners did well.
Yeah, but then you had to do well because you gave us a bit of ABBA information, a bit of DJ Khaled
made it up.
Did you make it?
Have you never watched Would I Lie to You?
No, you wouldn't lie to me.
That would have gone lie.
I think you lied about DJ Khaled, maybe not ABBA.
Not ABBA.
No, DJ Khaled
yeah.
though. All right, come on. Don't lie to me, Perry. Up next, we're taking your calls on Liverpool sacking Arne Slot. 03717 223344.
David is an Arsenal fan. He's written the next big Arsenal song to rival North London forever. Good morning, David. How are you?
Good morning, David. Let's talk about the right side of North London now, people. Championes! Championes!
Tell us about the song that you've written. Can you give us a blast on air?
Oh, I'd love to. So it's called We're Going All the Way by my artist named Guna Gonna Sing. So if you're finding out, have a listen, blast out. And there's a little bit of an intro with a bit of commentary from the end of the Atletico Madrid Arsenal game. And then it goes into it like this. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Unfortunately, we're ready.
Okay, here we go. We're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Rewriting history. Unbeaten every game we played. Arsenal.
Arsenal.
Mikel Arteta is our man. The Gunners going on for victory. North London is redder than ever. we're making history.
Oh.
You'll see, but we're going all the way. The champions of England say Arsenal.
Arsenal.
And there you go. You get the drift?
David.
When are you on top of the pops, mate? Deary me.
Listen, catchy, isn't it? Catchy.
Not one bit, mate.
I quite like that, David.
Terrible.
Listen, you're going to have to do more than that to get Gabby on
Terrible,
site this
David.
morning.
Night for a moon dance with the stars up above.
Sounds of the weekend on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
Romance, cause I'm a picker, I'm a grinner, I'm a lover, and I'm a sinner.
Bit of moon dance, the Joker, the next songs on Sounds of the Weekend.
Steve Miller Band?
Yeah, and?
Normally I think it's Van Morrison.
Yeah, correct. These are our songs for Sounds of the Weekend.
Oh, that's not a removal company, by the way.
It's not what, sorry?
A removal company.
No, sounds like it, doesn't it?
That's his singer.
Pick up my song.
Yeah, so don't get it on booking.com where you can rent a van.
Other booking.com sites
are available.
Of course. Hincapié getting attention after a wardrobe malfunction, and Atletico Madrid joke transfer offer for Lamine Yamal. Have you got any transfer sort of sagas from your playing days that you were involved in, or that you sort of were aware of?
I wasn't in like demand. So,
well, I mean, don't put yourself down.
If I wasn't getting in the team at Arsenal, or I was dropping out, in the old days only one sub because it was 12, right, and the squad was about 15, 16. So if I wasn't involved in the match day squad for a couple of games, I'd go and see George Graham and say, right, I've had enough, I want to go. And he'd go, yeah, I've listened to what you said, and I understand where you're coming from, but you're wrong. You're talking out your backside. I'm the manager. Get out of my office. That's it.
And what did you say?
The club had all the power. It was before the Bosman.
Okay.
So the club had all the power, and you think, I won't go too far because I'll be trading out with the goats and the sheep
So
for about
you
3
just
months.
nodded and said, thanks, George. I'll see you in training.
Sorry,
tomorrow
Gaffer.
morning."
Sorry, Gaffer. What time are you tomorrow? Want me to wash your car? Not a problem.
Yeah, I love that. You can't imagine managers speaking to players like that now, can you? Do you think it's all completely different, all too nicey now?
No, I think there's different. And you mentioned managers or coaches. Like, obviously, Arteta changed from coach to manager. The top managers are dictatorial. And we mentioned about Arne Slot not imposing himself on that dressing room. Yeah, exactly. So you look at Pep Guardiola, you look at Jurgen Klopp, Arteta now, without any shadow. Now, Maresca is dictatorial. But it'd be interesting to see how he handles the Man City players. Doing it at Chelsea with a younger group of players is easier. You know what I mean? Because they'll buy into what you want to do. When you're dealing with world superstars like Erling Haaland, exactly, it's completely different.
We spoke the previous part of the show about Slot being sacked. We touched on Andoni Areola, who is looking very likely he's going to be the new manager. I mean, there's no doubt, Perry, when you look at his body of work at Bournemouth, there's nothing short of seriously impressive. He obviously took them into Europe this season. The style of football was incredibly attractive. I guess the one kind of mark he's got against him at the moment, from a Liverpool fan point of view, is that he hasn't managed at the absolute elite level in this country. And we've seen examples in the last couple of years of Thomas Frank do well at Brentford, made that step up to Spurs, not work out. You think Graham Potter at Brighton, the step up, not work out. Do you think Andoni Areola, the personality, we talk about having authority in the dressing room, do you think he is good enough to make that step up, done an amazing job at Bournemouth, to go and manage one of the biggest clubs in the world?
Do you know what? I have to be 100% honest.
I
don't know, because you don't know until they make that step. When Arteta first went into Arsenal, where obviously he'd been Guardiola's coach, and then he becomes the coach, then he has that situation with Aubameyang where basically it gets to me or him. So you set out your stall of the culture you want to try and create. So what will happen is Areola will be tested when he goes into it, because let's be honest, Richard Hughes, and the sporting directors there would have asked. They've got Kirkes will be, thank God for that. I'm not my manager who got the best out of me is going to be our manager. It looks like they'd have been asking him about Areola and how he is and why he conducts himself. So he'll be tested, and what he has to do is, first time he's tested, doesn't matter who it is, he's got to lay down his authority, because I've said it before. Thomas Frank, brilliant manager at Brentford, obviously Keith Andrews going in and doing a brilliant job as well. He should have been well in the running for Manager of the Year for how he did at Brentford. But Thomas Frank goes into Spurs, culture's not great, big time Charlies, goes onto the pitch, players walk off.
Van der Ven
and Spence blank him completely. And then he said, "Oh, they come to see me to say sorry." Now, whether they're doing it, the first thing he should have done is he should have called the meeting and gone, "By the way, you don't do that. We're in this together. You ain't play. You're dropped. You're not playing on Saturday. You've got to work your way back in." And that sends a message to all the other players. Wow, he can do it to them too. He can do it to anybody. So I've got to say, I don't know if Iraola. He seems when he's interviewed that he does have that aura and personality about him. But you're in different sphere when you're managing Liverpool.
We have a goal at Wembley Stadium. Back to Charlotte Richardson.
It's Brighton 0, Manchester City 3. City's bench playing its part as Ayoba Fujino makes it free. It was a really nice move, sparked by Bunny Shaw over on the left-hand side. She used all of her physical strength to charge into the box, crossing it through, and Viviana Miedemar was there. You thought it was the opportunity for her to hit first time. She unselfishly left it to her teammate, who made no mistake with the finish. And you can't help but feel it's a game, set and match kind of goal, as that challenge for Brighton now looks a really, really steep one to overcome. Brighton 0, Manchester City 3.
Yeah, thank you very, very much, Charlotte. Man City are absolutely cruising. Lovely work goal down the left-hand side. City are 3-0 up. Jack is a Liverpool fan. He's called 03717223344. Jack, good afternoon. You're live on talkSPORT. Are you happy that Arne Slot's been sacked, and do you think Andoni Iraola is the right man?
I've got quite mixed emotions about it, to be honest. Like, obviously, he brought us that title last year. But this past season hasn't been good enough at all, to be honest.
So, Jack, what do you think is the first thing that Iraola has to do when he's got a lot of problems when he walks in? What's the first one he has to address?
Yeah, I think obviously with who's left this season now, we'll have to see what he brings in the summer if it is Iraola. And I think the style of play has to change. Like, I just think it completely wasn't Liverpool the way we were playing last season, and I think the way Iraola sets his team out, a bit more exciting, a bit more on the front foot, a bit more attacking. I just don't think the players were playing for Slot in the end of this season. Just gone.
Yeah, he lost it. But the thing is, well, Liverpool fans have got Arne Slot out because they turned against him. They've got a big job and part to play, because if it doesn't work for, even if he's playing front foot attacking free flowing football and he doesn't win, for like 2 or 3 games, Liverpool fans have got to back him.
Yeah, and I think with Liverpool, that's something that you probably will get. We're not a booing club, and you can see Slot had quite a lot of this season, I think, and I think some of his decisions that he was making, and like you say, when you've lost the fans, it was kind of the shutters down for him, I think.
You know, it was a weird one from the outside. Ungamoa played, and he lit Anfield up, right, and scored like a weldy. And looking from the outside, you're thinking, surely a manager thinks, right, that young player has given every Liverpool fan a lift, and he left him out the next game.
But also as well, to even add to that, you're right, Ruben Gamel was fantastic. The guy that he was picking ahead of him most weeks on the left-hand side was Cody Gakpo, and you'll know this, Jack, being a Liverpool fan, how poor was Cody Gakpo for so much of last season, and yet Arne Slot just did not want to drop Cody Gakpo. And again, you got a kid who every time he was playing, not the finished article just yet, but he would get people off their seats at Anfield.
Yeah, I 100% completely agree with that. Gakpo, obviously, he's had good season before, but he just wasn't with the races this season. Like you say, Rio came on, scored that goal against Newcastle, and everyone could see how good he was. And I don't know how he's feeling. Hopefully, he's obviously stuck with it. But how it was so obvious for fans on the outside looking in as to who should be playing there, even if he played Rio and it didn't work, and then at least you've tried it, and you can turn around and say, okay, right, look, I've done this and it hasn't worked. But I think every time Rio played, it was more like how Liverpool played. He took on his man. Gakpo was just so predictable, and it was frustrating through the season, to be honest.
Jack, you're head of recruitment. What do you need? You've got,
keep it realistic, Jack.
3 players or 3 positions.
3 players, or definitely some new wingers. I'd love Barcola from PSG.
So would we.
So would everyone.
I'd love Diamonde as well. And I think if Konate's going, it's a lot of weight to put on the shoulders.
You haven't said a midfielder, Jack.
Yeah, well, I
Did
think,
you not watch Alexis McAllister run around all season?
Yeah, well,
he didn't.
I think
jog around all season. Good point.
Yeah.
Jack, thank you very much for the call. We're going to take more Liverpool calls other side of this break.
Cheers, Jack.
3717223344 in the Women's FA Cup final. 20 minutes to go at Wembley Stadium. Man City are absolutely cruising. They are leading Brighton by 3-0 in that game. And in the IPL, there's live commentary right now on talkSPORT 2 and the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. Gujarat Titans are struggling. 127 for 6 midway through the 18th over.
Joey is on the line now. Joey, you're an Arsenal fan. Good morning. How's things?
Good morning, Joe.
Morning, and no good morning to you, Gabi Abonlaho. You've been doing my head in since Saturday, the 17th of August, 2013. And that was the season I got my season ticket. You came into that game, you mesmerized our defense. We lost 3-1. I got home and my wife asked me, "Oh wow, Gabi Abonlaho has done this to you." And every time I have a bad day out there and I get home, the first thing my wife asks me is Gabi be doing your head in? Gabi, you're doing my head in, and
I don't mean...
You've turned yourself to become the big ambassador of anti-Arsenal. Like, you just go after Arsenal. You go after Arsenal every single day. Gabi, for goodness sake. This morning we're talking about Gordon. You went all the British press, tried bringing the British players. And then, in the same minute, you're saying you don't want Arsenal to win the Champions League. Gabi, that is a conflict of contradiction. You have an apparent bias against Arsenal. And you've been doing my head in since 2013, Gabi.
Joe,
for goodness
listen.
sake, let me have a break.
I don't want you to have a bad day because of me.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
Time is running out. This Monday at 4 p.m, someone wins the trip to the 2026 FIFA World Cup courtesy of Adidas. And it could be you and a mate could be in Dallas on June 17th seeing England v Croatia live. We're talking flights, hotels, spending money, tickets and the official Try Under Match Ball all included. Head to talksportwin.com to enter and for full T's and C's now. You were in awe, Perry Groves, of that Manchester City third goal, weren't you, a short while ago?
Do you know what? It's one of the goals of the season. We know talk about, everyone wants the beautiful game. That was a beautiful goal. Started off at Yamashita, obviously in goal for Man City. You said there, played it down the left-hand side, 4 or 5 passes. Greenwood then in to Shaw. Shaw, brilliant play into Virginia. Really good finish. But that was like watching art. Honestly, that goal was that good, where every player knew exactly where they should be, moved it 1 and 2 touch. Just an absolutely beautiful goal to watch.
Do you like art?
I'm a bit of sort of more not Art Deco, Not mind, yeah, a bit of a Roy Lichtenstein as well from a like American bit of American art, printing art. Yeah. Why you? No, all good. No, not happening.
Not really.
Bit
No,
of
no,
Picasso.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, who doesn't?
Bit
like
of Pablo.
Oh, I mean, Picasso, Pablo. I mean, it's great, isn't it? Really? Yeah. No good. Anyway, back to the football. Right, Arnie Slot's been sacked. The Liverpool manager. Harry's called 037 1722 3344. Harry, was the right call made yesterday by Liverpool Football Club?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's a little bit late than we would have wanted, but yeah, definitely I think so.
Do you know what? Just on it being late, right? I understand the season's finished and then they've, they've had meetings and, reviews and whatever. But I don't know what you think, Harry. I think for a long time, I thought that Arnie Slot should have lost his job. I think one thing that would have been nice in football isn't this simple. If he was to have got sacked or announced that he was leaving at the end of the season, before that final game of the season, no matter what's happened this season, it's been a bad season. Anfield's turned in Arnie Slot. I think because he won the league last year for Liverpool, it would have been really nice for him to, after that Brentford game, have been able to walk around Anfield, applaud the fans and vice versa, and leave like that. Even though it's been a bad year, and I think he shouldn't have carried on as manager last season, it still leaves a sour taste in my mouth that a Liverpool manager who's won the Premier League with Liverpool has ended and left like this, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. It would have been a lot nicer because I feel like it was just a little bit out of the blue, especially because all the reports I was seeing, it was like, oh, we're backing him, it's all this and that. It was kind of just out of the blue, like Arnie Slot's been sacked.
Harry, where did you stand on the Mo Salah behaviour?
Listen, it was obviously a little bit... I don't want to say childish because I love Salah, so I don't want to say childish, but it was a little bit like it was nothing good was going to come from that. Do you know what I mean? I don't think him doing that has made them sack the manager. I just think it's kind of made Arnie Slot's exit a little bit more awkward.
So what about coming in? Do you fancy Areola or have you got anybody else on your radar?
Personally, I would have liked Xabi Alonso, but obviously we left that one a bit late and he's now gone to Chelsea. But now I'm thinking of it. Areola, yeah, I do love his style of play. Kind of reminds me of Klopp, like full front attack. It's just whether the players we've got have actually got the legs to be doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Do you know what as well? You said it's the weird one. Obviously, Alonso, like a club legend, when he was at Liverpool, but his style doesn't really suit the way that you want. It seems like Liverpool to play because he normally likes playing like three centre halves or three at the back, doesn't he? Likes playing sort of what I call possession-based football, where it's paint by numbers and getting total control of games. Whereas Liverpool fans seem like they want to have no control.
I think Liverpool hierarchy, you know what you think, Harry? I think they just haven't wanted Lonzo. I don't think they wanted him 2 years ago when Arnie Slot came in.
Yeah.
And if they wanted him, it would have been super easy to get him because he's been sat there available for the last 6 months.
I think it's one of them where they kind of realised, when we wanted him before Slot and he kind of prioritised Real, I think they've kind of like took that as like a not yet kind of thing and they thought, oh, well, you don't want us now, you're not getting us, you know what I mean?
Yeah, in terms of this summer, I mean, Perry asked the previous caller, what sort of players and positions would you like to see strengthened? What do you think?
Well, I definitely think we need to replace Salah. I definitely think we need to get someone on the left as well. And we definitely need a centre-back and someone in midfield who can kind of control a bit more and offer a bit more defensively.
Also, Harry, as well, Florian Wirtz has to play in the 10.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%. He can't be just... I think what Slot was doing as well, like you said before, he doesn't know his team. He was kind of just... Every game, it was like, I didn't know what to expect. Every game, I didn't know who was going to be playing.
So, Gordon, realistically, what's your aims for next season?
Realistically, do you want to hear plays that want to get in? Or
go on.
Or where you think Liverpool can go to?
Well, I think if we get a manager like Areola in and we can do that kind of front foot football, we do need people with legs. And we also kind of the players need to step up a little bit like the big signings. Obviously, it's not been great with the injuries we've had. But personally, I'd like to see Adam Wharton. I think he's a great player. Obviously, he's going to be quite a big price tag. I know this is a bit of a rogue shout, but obviously people are saying Barcola. I just don't know because I think obviously he's going to be, again, a really high price tag. I'd like to see someone like Somerville, from West Ham.
Oh,
sure he's not a small town boy?
Yeah, that very good. Yeah, that is rogue, isn't it? I mean, possibly, maybe. I mean, I'm assuming, Harry, you're not saying to go straight into that front three. Do you mean more sort of as a squad player, a decent option off the bench, maybe?
Yeah. Obviously, because we've got Rio, we want to kind of prioritise his kind of football. I think kind of getting someone like Somerville is going to be a lot cheaper than someone like Barcola. And if we do want to splash the cash on a CDM and a right winger like the Andy Amande, and obviously we're going to need to replace Canate as well.
Well, I would
like to see him stay.
Obviously, Salah's going on that right-hand side. What about Jarrod Bowen?
Again, I don't know about Jarrod Bowen.
You'd rather take Somerville than Jarrod Bowen?
Yeah, on the left, as a bench player to rotate with Rio, yeah, I would.
I'm a big Jarrod Bowen fan. His form wasn't great towards the back end of the season.
Yeah, I do really appreciate Jarrod Bowen. I just don't know if I don't know if he can do it. I know he's the main man at West Ham. I just don't know if he can come and replace Salah. Do you know what I mean?
You think Jarrod Bowen, we're thinking, no, you're right. No, that shirt, we're going to replace Salah. You go, no, let someone else go.
Yeah. Big, a lot of goals to fill, isn't it? Harry, thank you very much for the call.
Harry.
Enjoy your evening.
Cheers, lads, you too.
Let's go to Lewis, who's a Man City fan. Afternoon, Lewis. How are you, mate?
Afternoon, fellas. You okay?
Hello, Lewis. Good. What have you been up to today?
Go easy on me.
What have you been up to today, Lewis?
Nothing much today. Just been working on the garden all day. Nothing exciting.
Okay. How's it coming along? Any good?
All good, yeah. And then the missus went and ran a 10k for charity, but it took her about 3 hours. So.
Hey, listen. I mean, a 10k, some effort. Let's give her some credit. Raising money for charity.
Wrong,
You can't complain to that, can you? Good on her.
Lewis, as well. Are you pretending you're working in the garden?
Well, yeah. Procrastinating, yeah,
got your shears, just pretending to do a bit of pruning.
Can you actually list what you've done in the garden today, Lewis?
No. Probably not.
So you basically done it while your missus is running a 10k for charity. You've done absolutely nothing in the garden.
He's filled the bed at the bird bath. That's what he's done.
Someone's got to do it, Lewis, right?
Someone's got to carry the boats.
Lewis, what would you like to say, mate?
Well, I'd like to say I think Slot's been given an hard deal this season. I think with one bad season, you can't really jump on a manager for that. I think you need to give him a bit of a chance.
It's been a really bad season, and it's been a long season, and it's not just like there was a couple of months here. It feels like for the last 6 months, it's been really, really bad. So, but I mean, Lewis, you're a City fan, but, if you were a Liverpool fan, what have you seen in the last 6 months that makes you think that Arne Slot is good enough tactically to go again and be able to take Liverpool back to the top of the Premier League?
No, I've been a closest. I can't really defend him in that sense. But in your first year to win the Premier League, I think you get a bit of leeway the year after.
On a minute, Lewis.
When you've got some.
Do you want Liverpool to keep Slot? Do you want them to keep him because you know that they're not going to be the force? Are you like going undercover?
If I had a wish, it'd be definitely.
So what about Maresca?
Turn him down.
You happy with Maresca?
That's the thing. If Maresca has a first bad season, I'd give him the benefit of the doubt. But if he's playing football like that, I don't know.
Lewis, thank you very much for the call. Go and get your garden sorted. Are you good in the garden?
No.
Did you call the guy?
I'm not allowed anywhere near it. That's my wife's territory.
Well, she does the garden.
Oh, unreal. Buddhas everywhere, like water features.
Oh, wow.
Honestly, like solar lights, palm trees.
What a woman!
See, even you're looking at me going, "That's nothing to do with you," and you think, "No, it is nothing to do with me."
Yeah, no, I believe you.
It's incredible.
What's your best, facet around the house then?
Nothing.
I
can't. I'm useless. Okay. I can't do it. I can't even cook.
You can't even cook.
I can
just
ping.
Sit back and chill.
I can do the microwave. I can do ping. That's all right.
No one does a microwave better than me.
Exactly.
I promise you.
Bit of spag bowl.
Can't be the spag bowl. A ready meal spag bowl. Let's go back to a hub, shall we? At the Arsenal Trophy Parade. Will, how's it going?
Well, the official bus parade in North London may be over. The party perhaps is just getting started. 22 years these fans have waited. Fans of all ages and stages. The Vuvuzelas had a comeback. They've been primary school age children puffing away on those Vuvuzelas. We've got teenagers, we've got people in their 80s, people from Turkey, people from Asia, people from Europe, people from America. It's global, it's multi-generational, and it's a day of utter jubilation after that 22 years. It's been perseverance. It's been highs and lows even this season. Of course, it's not done, said Declan Rice. Now there are shirts saying 26, it is done. What an atmosphere. Tens, hundreds of thousands of people all celebrating together, brought together by the club they worship. And when the players came past on that double-decker bus, adoration, utter ecstasy, and Ben White in the back of the bus just smiling away, nonchalant. He doesn't like football, but football loves him right now. What an atmosphere in North London. London is red. Can this now be a dynasty? We shall see. Sam, this day is a day like no other. Come on, Arsenal. Ole, ole, ole.
Good man, Will Hobbs. He's having a good afternoon. And Charlotte Richardson, it's a good afternoon for Man City at Wembley.
It certainly is. We've got 5 minutes to go and it's Brighton 0, Manchester City 3. 5 minutes until Man City secure a first domestic double, and they have schooled Brighton in the sense that they've used every little bit of their experience to make the key moments matter this afternoon and have been in cruise control for long periods of this second half. City had won their last 3 FA Cup finals in a row. It's set to be 4. Vivian Miedema has just actually made it 4-0. The classy all-time leading goal scorer in the WSL nods in another one, and the bright blue flags all around me here, round to my right-hand side, are lifted aloft. That seals it. Manchester City are winning the FA Cup. Brighton 0, Manchester City 4.
Wow, a first FA Cup final for Brighton. And yeah, not how they wanted it to go. 86 gone. City are cruising. Next on the Sunday session. There is no doubt, Perry Groves, that Nkapie shorts were falling down, weren't they, at the Emirates a couple of weeks ago? Falling down the Bluebells from Mark P.
Massive gooner, Marky P.
Do you know that, or are you just saying that?
Well, it must be, because obviously he's gone for the Nkapie one, hasn't he?
He's gone for the Nkapie one, yeah. There we go. Falling down the Bluebells. Keep your songs coming in on talkSPORT. It is 4:50. Manchester City are falling up against Brighton in the Women's FA Cup. And the Gujarat Titans in the IPL final, 155 for 8. Live commentary of that continues on talkSPORT 2. Next, though, is the return of everyone's favourite feature, Sunday Smiles.
Now, one of the most important parts of the interview, you must be happy. It's been 22 years since your beloved Arsenal lifted the Premier League title. Finally, it's come back home. I mean, how are you feeling?
It is fantastic, and this squad is really, really good. They've had real resilience. I do genuinely think they're the best team in the Premier League this year. I'm really glad to see them win it, and hats off to them, because they did really well. The pressure was then really on with 5 or 6 games to go. Suddenly it looked like starting the title race all over again. They pulled through, and they've done brilliantly. And 22 years is a long time to wait.
It is a long time.
But we've done it.
Let's hope you have to wait a bit longer. I'm not an Arsenal fan. I have to get your views before we let you go on the pressure that you put on TNT Sports to make that final free on Saturday. I just want to get your views on that. I know you're going to echo that, but of course TNT price it at $4.99, which some could argue is really good value. So what's your view on that?
I just think it should be free. It's always been free every year up to this year, and I say this not as an Arsenal fan. All fans want to watch the Champions League final. It's a big event. It should be free, and that's why I wrote to them to say, please make it free. I'll renew that, actually. I really do think they should do that. I think it's the right thing to do. And look, I mean, it could be a fantastic topping off of the week. We had Villa. We had Palace. Then if Arsenal go and do it, we got an English treble there. What a great thing that will be.
Okay, and last question, we've got the World Cup coming up. How important is it that we bring home the World Cup to lift the nation?
Oh, so important. It would be fantastic. Obviously, last done under a Labour government. Let's hope it can be done under a Labour government again. But look, he's got a great...
Sounds of the weekend on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
Jessie J?
I know this one. Big Jessie J fan, by the way. I thought price tag there should have got a little bit more respect on. You don't look like the guy that likes Jessie J, Dom, but I mean, big up Jessie J and price tag. I mean, come on now.
You're not paying the royalties, are you?
No.
That's why Dom's like that. 10 seconds.
A few more seconds, couldn't we? Hincapié getting attention after his wardrobe malfunction. Atletico Madrid's joke transfer offer for Lamine Yamal are our sounds of the weekend stories this week. We've got price tag there by Jessie J. Thank you, Sally in Shrewsbury, and Falling Down. There we go from Oasis. Thank you very much, John. Now, though, it's time for this.
When you're smiling, the whole world, it smiles with you.
Sunday Smiles, where we take a look at some of the lighter and more positive stories which have been making the news this week. Our first Smiles comes from the Manchester United camp. As youngster Aiden Heaven tried to enjoy his time off, his fellow teammates did not let him rest at all. Following the conclusion of the Premier League last week, the centre-back posted several pictures on Instagram with a rather interesting choice of an outfit. Heaven was rocking a tank top, baggy shorts with a red cap, and a shiny chain, but the United players are straight into the comments. Harry Maguire, who commented, "Did you get that chain in a McDonald's Happy Meal? I didn't know Harry Maguire had the bants." All the way through to Brian and Bremo, who commented 2 clown emojis. I mean, a tank top, baggy shorts, a red cap and a shiny chain. You got to be a confident young lad to pull that off, right?
I think the clue there was in young.
Yeah, sure.
There's only certain age persuasion can wear that sort of clubber.
I'm sure you've never been asked this question before, Perry, by anybody, but who had the worst clobber in the Arsenal dressing room?
Probably me. Yeah.
What were you wearing?
Well, I was never colour coordinated, and like gingers doesn't go with anything anyway. So,
doesn't go.
My missus has smarted me up, so she's my personal dresser.
Okay.
The thing that I drew the line at was tight jeans.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, with my backside,
don't strike me as
I've got a
tight
Beyonce backside. Doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? So I'm like, I do the flared jeans. She's got me over to the flared jeans.
Pull that off.
Yeah, but not tight jeans. Not
good man. Big up, Mrs. Groves.
Over now to Scotland's World Cup selection and a real passing of the torch moment. Darren Fletcher is regarded as one of the best Scottish midfielders in the Premier League era after winning multiple titles at Man United. But now his son takes the spotlight. Tyler, who's Darren's 17-year-old son, and a call-up to Scotland squad ahead of the World Cup. This is what the World Cup brings. Dreams coming true and the chance to make a name for yourself. We hope Tyler has a great tournament, not just as good as England's. And Billy Gilmore, you've got to feel a little bit sorry for him as well, picking up that injury.
I mean, that's for Darren, he's gone on and done obviously amazing things in the game. To then have, your lads follow in your footsteps and go and do that.
And his twin brother.
And they've got 2 of them, haven't they? Yeah. I mean, it's incredible, isn't it?
The thing as well, Darren Fletcher will feel more proud of his son going would done it. He won't tell him,
no,
because it'll be you've got to crave my. You know what I mean? You've got to get a well done from me, but secretly, he and his wife will be so
That'll
proud.
mean more to him than him.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yeah, and for the wife as well. You got your husband being a professional footballer, and now not 1 but 2 young lads. Off you go. What are they feeding them in the Fletcher household? I want some of that, Perry.
Keep you uppy. As soon as they're born, a little bit keep you up.
It's working. After Arsenal's defeat, you might not like this, Perry. You might not like this. After Arsenal's defeat in the Champions League last night, plenty of opposition fans have poked fun and relished in the Gunners missing out on a double. But I think we found, Perry, the man who's taking hating to another level. A Chelsea fan was spotted in Budapest by broadcasting network CBS. He revealed he travelled all the way from Kenya just to hate watch Arsenal and show his support to PSG. He explained, "Yes, I'm a hater. I support Chelsea and I came here just to hate watch Arsenal." He did, however, predict an 8-1 win to PSG, so he's been let down by the game a little bit. I mean, there's hating on your sofa in your front room, but I mean, goodness me, from Kenya to Budapest, that's a lot of money to spend on a hate watch, isn't it?
I mean, that's about 5 different flights, isn't it?
It's a lot of flights.
3 different flights for Arsenal fans to get over to Budapest, let alone if you're coming from Kenya. That's taking it to another level.
Yeah, I mean, you had Cundy and Agbonlahor in PSG.
That was enough for half an hour.
Yeah, this was. Yeah, I reckon this guy, by the way, I've seen him talking on the on CBS. I reckon he's going to be doing a lot of media interviews.
Yeah, but see, again, getting in other fans' heads all the way into Kenya and flying all the way over here to exact all of his...
You are living rent-free
vitriol
in people's minds in Kenya, Perry Groves.
Well, he's not rent-free because he's had to pay for his flights.
If anything is not free, it's really, really expensive.
It's expensive, so that's not rent-free.
I'd love to know how much it cost him, by the way. Like, how much...
but he'll think it's worth every penny.
Especially when he got on CBS.
Exactly, then he was all right. And we couldn't do a Sunday Smiles without mentioning the great Alan Brazil. The talkSPORT legend has sadly been battling with health issues recently, but this week he posted a video confirming he's on the way back to a clean bill of health. In a positive video he posted on social media, Big Al not only thanked the wonderful workers at the NHS, but also confirmed a few weeks more and Brazil will be back. Wish you a speedy recovery, Al, and can't wait to have you back in the studio soon. What a proper legend. And we talk about people being humble. For the talkSPORT star that he is, trust me, Big Al is unbelievably humble. Just a lovely, lovely human being. And it was heartwarming to see the video that he put out.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to work with Al on the Breakfast Show for maybe 3 or 4 years, and he's one of the most remarkable men that I've been able to work with. Like,
did you do a bit of running for him?
Oh, I did. Yeah, 100%. A bit of everything, Perry. Yeah, but what he's like on air, you know, he entertains the nation for over 20 years.
Personality.
Off air, he's still exactly the same.
Exactly.
Like, he'll come out during the ad break and he'll sit on that sort of, chair over there next to the tech hub and producer, and he keeps on going, and he just puts a smile on everyone's face.
You can't teach personality.
No. I wish someone could teach me personality, Perry. Big Al's tried, but he's failed miserably. I promise.
Personality.
Yeah. What a nice way to finish there. Big up Big Al, and hopefully he's back in this chair very, very soon on talkSPORT Breakfast. Sunday smiles for Manchester City at Wembley Stadium. Charlotte Richardson.
Full-time, Brighton 0, Manchester City 4. The double done and dusted for the first time in City's history. The WSL champions showed their class against a plucky Brighton side, playing their first major final. Bunny Shaw's header broke the deadlock against the run of play. Alex Green was direct free kick, finding the bottom corner, issuing a bitter blow on the stroke of half-time, gifting City control for a second half, which became routine. Obafagino's finish highlighted City's strength and depth, as did Viviana Miedemar's late header. It's a half scoreline, but a deserved victory. Brighton 0, Manchester City 4.
Charlotte Richardson, thank you very much. Back to you shortly for some more reaction and fallout, but Manchester City are the 2026 FA Cup winners. Next on the Sunday session.
So baby, don't worry, you are my only, you won't be lonely, even if the sky is falling down, you'll be my only.
Down. Jay Sean in Cafe Shorts, Falling Down. Steve from Dorking, it's an absolute tune.
In Cafe Shorts, deeper and down, bit of status quo, no?
We can have that. We can work on that, yeah.
You know what? I think demographics, been a few younger, yeah, definitely.
Did you think the young?
It's like the 80s. We used to have loads of 80s stuff in.
More of the youngsters are tuning into Sunday
Bang on it.
on a Sunday afternoon. This is talkSPORT. It's just gone 5 o'clock. Confirmation then. Manchester City are the 2026 FA Cup winners. Live IPL commentary on talkSPORT 2 continues. RCB chasing 156 to win the IPL and go back to back. In the next hour, we're heading over to London Stadium to build up to Soccer Aid. That follows us at 6 o'clock. But coming up next, we'll be turning our attention to Anthony Gordon's move to Barcelona.
You won't be lonely.
Andy Robertson and Liverpool and the memories that brings up and the incredible teams that you've been part of over those years and Jurgen Klopp, all that history. Oh my goodness, just sum up, now that you're at the end of your Liverpool career, how it's been, how emotional has this been for you?
Yeah, it's been a difficult couple of weeks, but I also try to enjoy every minute of it. I think people are fed up of seeing my face and seeing interviews of me doing farewell stuff, so I'm glad this one's radio. But yeah, look, it's been an unbelievable it's been an unbelievable 9-year journey.
Andy, can I take you back to, because I honestly think this was probably one of my favourite Liverpool sides ever. Mane, Salah, Firmino, Henderson, Fabinho, Wijnaldum. You guys, that back four, you just picked yourself really. Robbo, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, Trent, and Alisson. It will forever be one of my favourite Liverpool sides, I think, just because there was so much character in it. But also, you guys were just so good. What was it like having that connection that you had with your team?
Yeah, look, that was, I think, I've spoke about it, quite a few times, but it's like that was the best time because, we were all kind of climbing the mountain together as such. None of us were the best player in the league. None of us were the best in our position. None of us were, we certainly weren't the best team. And I just think every day you just started seeing it slowly but surely piece all together. And then we climbed.
You are listening to the Sunday Session. We are live on talkSPORT with me, Sam Ellard, and the former Arsenal winger Perry Groves. Yeah, congratulations to Manchester City. They are the winners of the Women's FA Cup. Brighton taking part in their first FA Cup. Well, they weren't in the races today. Man City winning by 4-0. Their remarkable season continues. Another trophy in the bag. There's live commentary of the IPL final on talkSPORT 2 right now, and also you can catch it, watch it, listen to it on the talkSPORT Cricket YouTube channel. RCB to win it again and go back to back. Need 156 runs to beat Gujarat Titans. Josh Butler making just 19 for the Gujarat Titans. You like your cricket, Perry?
Yes, as I said, I used to play for the Bunburys, like charity team, every Saturday. Sunday. I'm a wicket keeper because no one wanted to be wicket keeper.
Really?
Yeah.
I think that's changed now. I think keeping now is a lot more sexy.
Yeah, but I became the wicket keeper. No one wanted to do it, but I wanted to be involved. You know, when you're fielding, I wanted to be involved all the time. So even if you're bowling, which I was like a medium pace sort of seamer, and we used to get loads of wickets because we had 28 fielders.
That's a lot of fielders.
Andy Jacobs used to bowl as well and always get 3 or 4 wickets.
Yeah.
It's because the 28 fielders, 18 of them would have been ex-cricketers. So anything, it was just like Velcro. So anything that went in the air, it just
Yeah, it's
stuck.
not- yeah.
Exactly.
I can imagine Andy Jacobs being like just nagging away at a good line and length, just being ruthless, relentless, and being a hard bowler to get away.
The first time I ever wicket kept for the Bunburys, there was Chris Cairns, the New Zealand fast bowler, Wasim Akram.
Sorry, Wasim Akram.
Wasim Akram.
You kept a Wasim Akram?
Yes, right. So he came off of 4 or 5 paces, right? So I was nearly a quick length back,
Yeah.
right? All right, so I'm trying to do my best, and the ball, it makes a different noise. With those quality of bowlers, it fizzes. You know what I mean? You know when you go and see the top golfers, the ball fizzes through the air. So this one fizzes, and every time it smacked into my gloves, it was like, oh. So afterwards, I was in the bar, and my hands looked like Kenny Everett hands. I just swapped both my hands were swollen.
Fat.
And someone went, "What's the matter?" I went, "Well, I've been wicketkeeper." They said, "Well, didn't you have your inners in?" I didn't realise you had to wear the gloves inside the gloves.
Inside the glove, yeah.
But it's when you see I kept Monty, like spin bowling, obviously Phil Tufnell, and you see the spin that they get on it. It is scary when you see these elite sportsmen and women.
When
play.
I asked you a quite innocent question, I thought about cricket. I did not think you were going to name drop one of the greatest fast bowlers in the history of the sport in Wasim Akram.
Well, I was saying another wicket length back and still taking it behind my head.
Oh.
And he was bowling off of 4, and Devon Malcolm. Devon Malcolm was the change.
Do you know what? If I knew there was going to be so much information in this, I would have dedicated a part of the show
To the Bunburys.
to Perry Groves to look back on his great time at the Bunburys. But we've got some breaking news, Perry Groves, coming into us at talkSPORT.
We got the stab. Breaking news.
No. Liverpool can confirm Ibrahim Konate is set to leave the club upon the expiry of his contract this summer. Konate will depart with our gratitude and appreciation for the contribution he made, and everyone at the club wishes him the best for the future. That's what Liverpool have said. And of course, a reminder, Perry, the talkSPORT broke this story exclusively earlier in the week. But Liverpool Football Club, about 5 or so minutes ago, have confirmed Ibrahim Konate is set to leave the club upon the expiry of his contract this summer. I'm really divided on this, Perry, because I think first half of the season, he was really, really poor.
Right.
And I know you touched on earlier, Van Dijk not being at his best, the impact that can have on Konate, but he was rash. He would lunge into challenges. And I'm sat there watching Ibu Konate, who's been so good for such a long period of time. And I almost couldn't believe how bad he was, how many stupid mistakes he was making game in, game out. Oh, Perry. But I thought back end of the season, he got better, a little bit more steady. And it's a summer where Mo Salah's left the club. It's summer where Andy Robertson's left the club. There's talk. Maybe Alisson could leave the club. And it's another leader, another big personality in the dressing room, leaving the football club. Obviously, the two parties, Konate and Liverpool, couldn't reach an agreement. What do you think about this, Perry?
He seemed very animated by that. He was very emotional there, wasn't he?
Do you know what
You could
annoyed
see it
me?
in your
Because
eyes.
he's such a good player, Konate. And he's frustrated me so much this season because he's a good centre-back. But Perry, in that first half of the season,
but I think-
I almost couldn't believe how many simple, basic mistakes he'd make
Yeah, but
week
Sam,
in, week
you're
out.
missing the bigger point. He's leaving for nothing. It's total mismatch. He's 20. You could get the Mo Salah, right? Obviously, coming to the end because of his age. You can get Andy Robertson and come to the end of the contract because of his age. I get that. You had your Liverpool had their purses. Not I was going to say stolen. They didn't because there was nothing in the purse because Alexander-Arnold obviously went for 10 million in the end, didn't he? To Real Madrid. To let a player who's 27, even though he's been particularly poor, get to the end of his contract and he leaves for nothing. That is total mismanagement on the business. Forget the football side, on the business side, because what you should do is now with the top players, when they get into 2 years left on their contract, you see about extending it for another year or maybe 2. Do you know what I mean? And giving them obviously a wage rise. If the player lets it go down to the final year, you have to make a big decision then and just say, okay, we can offer you an extension. If you're not going to sign it, then we're going to sell you. Even if they'd have got, at that time, 30, 35 million for Konate. Yeah. So on a business sense, somebody's not doing their job properly. And that is ridiculous to let someone at 27 leave the club for nothing.
Yeah, it's messy, Perry. And this is like when Jurgen Klopp first came in, there's like a good 6-7 year period where Michael Edwards was running the footballing operations and Liverpool in terms of players they'd bring in for good prices. You think Fabinho, £35 million. That front three of Salah, Mane, Firmino cost £100 million combined.
What was Robertson?
Andy Robertson, £6 or £7 million
from Hull,
from Hull. And now you fast forward a couple of years and you're getting to lots and lots of situations where really good players' contracts are coming down towards an end. Also, he did an interview, Konate, after the Merseyside derby in April, where he practically said, it's all done. I'm going to sign a new contract. So I'd love to know what's happened over the last couple of months to go from that mixed zone interview in April after beating Everton to now 2 months later, he's leaving, or a month later, he's leaving on a free.
Well, obviously, it's personal terms, isn't it? Like, he's and these people want a certain amount of money. Liverpool probably looked at that and thought, no, we're not going to spend that. Again, you don't know if there's talks going behind the scenes, managers that are coming in. We know that Iraola's coming in, whether he said, no, I don't fancy him. I want to prioritise another centre-half. I don't know if Senesi, we don't know if he's supposed to be signing for Spurs.
Tottenham, apparently, yeah.
And Senesi's partner, James Hill,
You like him, don't you?
He's been outstanding for Bournemouth. Bournemouth fans will know better than they see him week in, week out. Was a right back, went into centre half, quick, good in the air, and he is really, really good with the ball. That both of those players that mentioned Essie, in the one-day centre half now, have to defend obviously, but they're both very good at pinging it into the midfield players or through the lines, into the 10 or into the forwards, and they make defence splitting passes. So it'll be interesting to see who Liverpool have on their radar, obviously, to replace Konate. But as I said, it's just really, really bad business.
Obviously, Van Dijk, Xhaka is coming in from Rennes. That was agreed in January. Leone missed pretty much all of the season. He got a bad injury in the Carabao Cup in like October time. And obviously Gomez is still there. But yeah, another centre-back needs to come in. Overall, though, did you rate Ibrahim Konate? Did you think he was a good servant to Liverpool Football Club?
A good servant, yes. But I just think, as you said there, I think he's just too erratic. You know, when he could be a 9 and then all of a sudden the next week he'd be a 5. And what he would do, I mentioned there, he would make basic errors due to a lack of concentration. Or how many times did he think he's going to go and try and win the ball and he stretches and he misses it completely, or he gets it stuck underneath his feet. So I don't think Liverpool fans would be devastated that he's gone, but they'll be disappointed, as I said, about the financial side. And whoever plays, if Virgil van Dijk is still going to be your number one centre-half, whoever plays has to be unbelievably quick.
You talk about, by the way, Liverpool players and contracts going down. Alisson has only got 1 year left in his contract as well. And there was some talk about Juventus wanting to sign Alisson in this summer transfer window, Liverpool possibly being open to that. I would say on that again, talking about the experienced players, the big names, the characters that left the football club in the last couple of weeks, I don't think you can now allow Alisson to leave the football club. I also just think that Mamardashvili, who came in last summer, I don't think is maybe being quite as good as Liverpool fans were hoping for. But again, then, Perry, you know, if Alisson's saying, I don't want to sign a new contract,
got to sell him.
Liverpool then again in a tough position where it's selling your best goalkeeper when going for free next summer.
Well, you've got to sell him. You have to sell him. And what will you get now for Alisson? Probably last year of his contract, 25, 30.
Yeah.
Because if he's saying, I'm not signing one, basically he wants to go for a free at the end of next season. And his people around him were saying, just see your contract out, because basically he's an asset. So the people around him who are advising him, he goes for no transfer fee. So he gets a bigger sign-on fee. And then the people around him, they get a bigger percentage of the sign-on fee. Yeah. So they're looking quite rightly out for their, they call them clients now, don't they? But their player. So Liverpool have got to do what's best. And it's really tough sometimes. Football is ruthless and you have to be ruthless. But you'd like to think, I mentioned about the recruitment of Brighton and Bournemouth and Brentford being like different levels.
They're the best, aren't they? Yeah.
I think a lot of the top clubs, they have lazy recruitment. I think they don't go into the detail of players all around Europe, you know, not necessarily maybe of playing for not as fashionable clubs, or even down into the Championship, where I think there's a lot of snobbery around Championship players, where there's a lot of talent in the Championship. I've been lucky to watch it all season, obviously, for talkSPORT. So you'd like to think that with the Alisson situation, that the Richard Hughes and the sporting department would have goalkeeper 1, goalkeeper 2, goalkeeper 3, goalkeeper 4 on their list, ready to go and buy if Alisson decides to go.
If only Quiverham Kelleher decided to hang around for one more season, he then would have been Liverpool's number one for the next 4 or 5 years.
But he needed to go and play.
Of course he did. And he was backup goalkeeper for such a long time at Liverpool, and he was way too good to be that. But yeah, if he had stayed for one more season, he would have, I think Liverpool would have been comfortable to say to Alisson, we'll take money for you when you're left on your deal, and then you got Kelleher for next season. So just to confirm then the breaking news, talkSPORT broke the exclusive earlier on in the week, but Liverpool Football Club can confirm Ibrahim Konate is set to leave the club upon the expiry of his contract this summer. They go on to say Konate will depart with our gratitude and appreciation for the contribution he made, and everyone of the club wishes him the best for the future. So Ibrahim Konate will not be in the Premier League next season. Neither will Anthony Gordon. He's gone to Barcelona. We're talking that next.
Edwin, away from Soccer Aid, obviously a good second half of the season for your former club, Manchester United. It feels like a no-brainer to give Michael Carrick the job on a full-time basis. I guess the big question is, what can he achieve next season? How close to being championship contenders do you see them being?
Yeah, but I think what Michael brought was stability, clarity. Got some players in, played a lot of times the same team, and formation that was recognizable for the fans. And I think the performance that he put on, the results that he got, and that the board and the directors take their time to look at our options, see how things develop, see how the players look like. Probably they got some contact with Bruno and some established players to make up their mind. And very happy for Michael that he got the opportunity to do it on a permanent basis.
What about Michael Carrick's big selections this summer? What has he got to do in order to make them more competitive next season in terms of winning the Premier League? Because that's the established aim for Manchester United.
Yeah, of course. I'm not that deep into Manchester United. And of course, some players will have a desire to leave or to extend the contract.
Sounds of the weekend on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
Yo, come on.
Sunday session on talkSPORT. It's Sam Ellard and Perry Groves with you until 6. Then we're off to the London Stadium for Soccer Aid tonight. Live commentary right here on talkSPORT. More sounds of the weekend suggestions coming in. Our stories, Hincapie getting a lot of attention after a wardrobe malfunction playing for Arsenal. And Atletico Madrid's joke transfer offer for Lamine Yamal, saying, we'll get you some Bad Bunny tickets. Give us Lamine Yamal. They said, no thank you. We are all good. So we got caught out there. That was sent in by Matt in Swindon. Thanks, Matt. And underneath it all as well, sent in by Kelly. We just brought you the breaking transfer news. Not transfer news, really. Is this called expiry transfer news or out of contract transfer news? It's not really a transfer, is it?
No, it's just leaving.
Yes, yeah, there's some leaving transfer news that Ibu Konate...
No, not transfer, because he ain't gone anywhere, is he?
No,
leaving.
He's basically just left Liverpool. Officially, yeah. Liverpool can confirm
Done one.
That Ibu Konate is going to leave the club this summer. Let's talk, shall we then, about Anthony Gordon. He's obviously been involved in transfer news this week. Anthony Gordon says he believed he would play for Barcelona since he was 3 years of age. That must be quite cool to think that at 3 and to actually go... Like, do you think at 3 you can actually... Like, at 3, do you know what Barcelona is?
I think at 3 you're probably thinking about about can you get into the school team?
Yeah, I was going to say, but also at 3, I don't remember like watching football, or knowing much about football at 3.
I wouldn't know what was outside London at 3.
Yeah, no, I was going to say. I mean, I'm not accusing of lying, Anthony Gordon, but maybe go 8.
Embellishing,
maybe over exaggerating. That's the worst.
Ingratiate himself with obviously the Barcelona.
He's doing
fans.
a good job so far, isn't he? To be fair.
His press conference was amazing.
Yeah. He says he believed to play for Barcelona until he was 3 years of age, after joining from Newcastle on a deal worth more than 80 million euros, around 69 million pounds. The England forward, who's 25 years of age now, signed a contract with the La Liga champions until 2031 after a fee was agreed between the two clubs. Gordon obviously is going to Barcelona, where Marcus Rashford was last season. The Spanish club yet to trigger an option to make the 28-year-old forward's loan move from Man United permanent for £26 million. Anthony Gordon is a Barcelona player, Perry.
I just think it's you're obviously pleased on a personal level for Anthony Gordon. I think Everton fans might have a bit word to say, because surely he should be dreaming of playing for Everton. Do you know what I mean? And now
he was a Liverpool fan, I think, growing up, Perry. So I think maybe it was Liverpool.
You know what will happen is, because you can do AI now, he's people probably getting together a picture of him when he was free with a Barcelona shirt on.
Yeah.
Just to go, told you.
Yeah. I was a Barcelona fan at 3 years of age. Was it Robbie Keane who just every new
kissed every badge?
He was like, I support them.
That was his boyhood team.
Yeah, boyhood team, that's the one, yeah.
I think Newcastle have got unbelievable value. Anthony Gordon is a very good player. He's a very good Premier League player, obviously in the England squad. And when he's at his best, he can give defences all sorts of problems. But I don't think he hits his best often enough. I think, obviously, if he plays on the left-hand side, he's that threat sort of in behind. I think sometimes his final ball is left a bit to be desired. I think he can improve on that. He can play through the middle, obviously, as a sort of a false 9. But if you'd have said to me, the best Marcus Rashford against the best Anthony Gordon, Marcus Rashford wins all day long. Even though I've been critical of Marcus Rashford in the past with his attitude, when he's at Man United, he stank the place out. The culture wasn't great. Gone to Barcelona, proved that he can play, obviously a massive club, done really well for them. It's just I just think it's a weird transfer all right for Newcastle. And Eddie Howe knows that squad needs a massive overhaul. He needs about 5 or 6 different players. PSR, they have to sell players. I think 70 million quid is big money for Anthony Gordon. And then you look from the Barcelona point of view, got Ferran Torres, got Yamal, Rafinha, obviously Marcus Rashford. If you're Marcus Rashford, you're going to be really peed off, because before Barcelona was saying, we've got the buy clause, right, for 26 million. And Barcelona was saying, well, we're not sure, and we might not be able to afford 26. And you're like, hold on a minute. You know that the player that you've got there is 26 million, and you're willing to pay 2.5 times more for a player that is unproven, playing for a massive club like Barcelona in a different culture, in a different league. So it's just seems just a very strange transfer all round, you know?
I wish Anthony Gordon all the best.
Absolutely, for him personally.
I echo all your thoughts. One thing I would say, and I was proved wrong on this time last year with Marcus Rashford, who, let's not forget, had come off the back of a really, really tricky couple of years at Manchester United.
By the way, it was his attitude as well.
Yeah, 100%. But I also think his performances on the pitch had dipped off quite a lot as well for a good year, 18 months. So when he got that move to Barcelona, I was very, very surprised. I think I used the phrase at the time, he's failed upwards massively. And credit to Marcus Rashford, he went to Barcelona and did a much better job and was much more effectful, impactful.
Lost his ego.
Than I thought. So Anthony Gordon could possibly do that. I find Anthony Gordon a seriously frustrating player, because I think he's one of those players where you can watch him for a couple of games, glide past fullbacks. He looks $1 million. He's up for it. He's an aggressive forward, isn't he? And then he has 6 to 8 games where he is completely ineffective. So he's got all the ability, but I just think to get to that top level and to be a 70, 80 million pound player, I think he needs to be more consistent. I don't think he's been that at Newcastle. I think for Newcastle it was a good deal. And the fact that it's done so early as well is also good business. We had the mess of the Isak saga last year that dragged on for months and months. It's done. Money's in the bank. Go and get some signings done nice and early.
Do you know what I think as well? When he was at his best, when Newcastle under Eddie Howe were playing 4-3-3, and you had Joe Linton at the left side of midfield, Anthony Gordon left side up front, it was Isak through the middle. Anthony Gordon worked his socks off the ball.
Yeah.
As he got to be a bigger name in that Newcastle side, I watched him play a couple of times, and he wasn't working off the ball. He wasn't tracking back. He wasn't getting. That's when Newcastle started to struggle for a period of time, because there were players there weren't doing their defensive job. So it's a strange. If you're Marcus Rashford and you're playing on the left side, right, for Barcelona, and you've done really well, and they've won, obviously, La Liga. And all of a sudden, they go and buy another left-sided player from England who's in the England squad, and you're vying for his place in the England squad. I think Marcus Rashford would be a little bit
And again,
peeved.
you mention it, he costs 2.5 times the price of Marcus Rashford, which feels a strange one. Anthony Gordon, we wish you the best. Maybe it'll bring the best out of Gordon and Rashford at the World Cup, and we just see them trying to outdo each other on the left wing for England. We are not far off 5:30. Coming up next, Perry, we're off to the London Stadium. It's Soccer Aid this evening. Always good fun, always a great cause. We've got live commentary on talkSPORT following us at 6. 6:30 is kickoff. Andy Goldstein is hosting, and he joins us next live.
As I've been waiting to come on, I've just had a message from somebody called Gabriel Agbonlahor. I'm not quite sure who he is, but his message was replying to me writing a diary in the Spectator magazine this week, which is headline, "No one likes Arsenal, we don't care." And he's just said, "I pray for a PSG win." Think about that sentence. That is a talkSPORT presenter on his knees praying to God that Arsenal an English team do not win the Champions League. That is how pathetic the Arsenal haters have got. It is pathetic.
I want to ask you about that, Pierre, and I'm deadly serious, right? I'm deadly serious, right? I remember West Ham getting that Conference League final. Just about the whole country was behind them. Certainly Palace last week. Everybody was behind them. Why? What is it with Arsenal?
I just cannot understand how any fan base that has me, Keir Starmer, Jeremy Corbyn, the president of Rwanda.
You've answered that.
And I haven't finished yet.
Get ready to get the ultimate football fan winning feeling with talkSPORT Win.
The Sunday session on talkSPORT. Sam Ellard and Perry Groves with you until 6. Now, this Monday at 4 p.m, someone is winning the trip of a lifetime to the 2026 FIFA World Cup in Dallas. talkSPORT and Adidas, the tournament's official match ball supplier, are sending you and a mate to the England's opening game against Croatia on June 17th. We're talking return flights, accommodation, spending money, tickets, and the official Adidas match ball, the Triunda, all covered. Ready to get that winning feeling? Here's how to enter. For your chance to win, head to talksportwin.com or text WIN to 83338. Text and online entries cost £2.50 plus your standard network rate, or call 0343 418 7260. Entries must be in by 4 p.m. Monday. That's when you'll need to answer your phone if it rings. 18 plus, UK residents only. This is a talkSPORT promotion. Full T's and C's at talksportwin.com. So for your chance to win, text WIN to 83338 now. Now, legends and celebrities will converge again for Soccer Aid 2026, the annual football match played to raise money for UNICEF. England will meet a World 11. There's many names, 33 names confirmed to be playing, legendary former footballers alongside celebrities. It is the 20th anniversary of the match. It's following us at 6 o'clock. It's a 6:30 kickoff. Commentary from Ollie Klink and Jason Cundy. And I'm delighted to say it's being hosted by Andy Goldstein. And Andy joins us live now on talkSPORT. How are you, Andy?
Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to the London Stadium. How impressive does that sound? I am very well.
Do it again, Andy.
Hello, welcome to the London Stadium for what should be a promising afternoon of football. It's Team England against the rest of the world. Some big names on show, including the man alongside me who played for England. Oh, no, forget about that. Jason Cundy is here as well.
Hello, boys.
Jason,
how are we doing?
Right,
all right,
have you
Pez,
been...
are we friends now or not? Are you still falling out?
Always friends, Jake. Always friends. Do you know what I mean?
I know, mate.
It's tribalism. That's what happens.
I know. It's a tough one. I've been there. I know what it's like. And you've got, two idiots sitting there in a PSG shirt.
I saw what you were saying earlier.
No, it's true. I said that to Pez. It's just the way I'm built. I didn't want Arsenal to win, and I celebrated their defeat. And it's
nothing wrong with that.
I don't think there is anything wrong with that. I don't.
The fact that Jason has turned up today with his PSG short shirt, socks and shin pads is neither here nor there.
Croissants.
Boys, have you been watching them train and warm up? And who have you looked at them for? Actually, you look pretty useful.
Well, no one is the answer to that because they're not out on the pitch yet. But of course, me and Benty were at Soccer Aid training day 1 and 2. If you look at the two, I don't have the lineups in front of me. They're not out yet, but they will be soon. But even if you look at both squads, the rest of the world team is very impressive. I'll be absolutely stunned if it's anything other than the rest of the world win. But you just don't know. I think where this game is won and lost is when the pro goalkeepers go off and the celebs get in goal, because we saw it last time round with Carlos Tevez. I think he scored like 3 or 4 goals in about 40 seconds. He did. And they were all against, I can't remember who was the goalkeeper. Was it Paddy McGuinness? I think it was Paddy McGuinness. You know, they're big goals, they're not proper goalkeepers, so that's where I think the match will change. But I have to say, I've never been to the London Stadium before. And I've heard a lot of people moan about it. I mean, inside it's a beautifully big stadium. I understand what the problem will be because at ground level you are a running track away from the pitch. But I think it'll be a great occasion. It was a really nice feel as we walked from the subway to the stadium. Everyone's very happy. They've got a smile on their face, the sun's shining, and it feels one of those afternoons and evenings where a lot of families will be here to enjoy what should be a great evening of football.
Yeah, Cundy, the way you're going at the moment, I mean, I can't go on social media without seeing Jason Cundy somewhere. I reckon this time next year, Cundy, you're playing. You're not commentating with talkSPORT. You are absolutely very much getting involved.
Those days, I can't walk, let alone run. Mind you, I have to say, I thought about doing a knee slide when Gabriel missed that penalty last night, mate, down the hallway heading to.
Do you know what?
Can
I just say, rumour has it, I don't know how true it is, rumour has it that when he took the penalty, he was actually going for a corner. He was trying to get a corner so they could score from it.
It's amazing. Chelsea and Man United fans being chirpy. Yeah. You can't make it up.
Why are you biting? Perry, let it go. Why are you biting? You're better than that, Perry. Come on.
No, I'm not.
Okay, join the club.
Exactly.
Join the club.
Andy, then, look, in terms of the non-footballers, I'm looking at some of the names. Come on, throw me a name. Who looked good in training? We got Danny Dyer, we got Jack Whitehall. Ollie Murs, is he any good?
I'll tell you, Ollie Murs is great. He had an awful injury not too long ago, and also he did this unbelievable day for UNICEF where he raised just over £1 million in like 4 or 5 days. He was running 2 marathons a day for 5 days.
Wow.
And he was swimming, and he was in a boat as well, a canoe or whatever. I mean, he's gone above and beyond. I'll tell you who's going to be great for Team England, and he was great last year. I think he got man of the match, and that's Angry Ginge. At the back, he plays that sort of like, I don't want to liken him to Rio Ferdinand, but he's big, he's strong, and he's really
praise
good with the
for
ball.
Angry Ginge, that is, isn't it?
No, sorry, Franz Ferdinand.
Angry Ginge to Rio Ferdinand, are you sure?
Franz Ferdinand.
Isn't it going to be a bit sunny for the Gingers anyway? He's going to play on the shady side of the pitch, no?
That's a good point. He's meant to play the middle of the park. I think, judging by where the shadows are, he'll be playing down the right-hand side for most of it.
Actually, to be fair, the temperature isn't that bad. Had you gone back 2 or 3 days ago, this would have been an absolute sweatbox. Yeah. But it's quite cloudy, so this helps.
I'll tell you what is quite bad, and bless him. I walked from Westfield Shopping Centre, where we all met, to the ground, and we had to stop every 11 paces because of Jason's knee. It is like taking your granddad on holiday. It really is.
I was seriously looking for a wheelchair. You know what the walk's like from Stratford Station to the ground?
Get a mobility scooter.
Do you know what, mate? Don't you joke about it.
Are you
My
not-
knee is that bad.
Are you on the beeper at the airport? Are you on that little car that beeps through? Everybody gets the up because you go right to
Mate,
the front
I've
of the
had
queue.
it. When I was just saying to the boys, when I was at Wembley, it's a few years back now, I actually stopped one of those little buggies, golf buggies, to get me there. I did, seriously. My knee was in so much pain, and they kindly took me. But yeah, it's not great, mate. But I've still got a smile on my face.
Good man. Andy,
there was a beeper for the language he was using while he was trying to walk.
Andy, you interviewed the Prime Minister, didn't you? Keir Starmer in the week, live on
Big
Drive.
gooner, isn't
Yeah, live on Drive Time. How was
Massive
that, Andy? What was it like interviewing the Prime Minister?
Yeah, it was okay. I don't get excited about those sort of things.
You sound quite underwhelmed, actually. I'm sorry, Arsenal.
I wanted to say things like country's in a bit of a state, isn't it? but I didn't. But what,
So we can do about unemployment.
I did actually say to him, I don't think he got it, and thankfully it stayed in. I did actually say, I understand you're warming up, you're having a little knockabout with the players later. And he went, yeah. I said, you got your shin pads at hand? And he laughed and went, no, I haven't. I don't know why I've turned him into that character. But I said, I think you should wear your shin pads. I think there's going to be a lot of 2-footers on you. And he laughed it off. And I was like, no, seriously, look around you. But yeah, it was okay. What I found really fascinating was the amount of security you had to get through. And I'd never been in that scenario before. So it was just, there was a holding bay, then there was a holding bay, then there was another holding bay. Then you go upstairs, you wait outside. And he was nowhere to be seen. And then when everyone was in position, it was like they wheeled him out. You had 7 minutes. Although I don't know if I'll say it anyway. He had an aide. He had an aide alongside him that obviously looks after him and he's in charge of his timetable. And we were told, me and Bentley, we were told we had 8 minutes with him. And then halfway through the interview, the aide, he was only a little fella, and he stuck his hand up. Little aide, and he stuck his hand up with like the number 2, meaning like you got 2 minutes. And I was like, and okay, we can't argue with that. We've got to. So, bless Bentley, I had to cut him short, ask one last question, and then we finished the interview. And I come downstairs, I was a little bit fuming, and then I said to management Max, he's aide, that little fella, cut me short. And then he went, look behind you, and he was there and he had everything. I was a little bit devastated. I was like, well, there's nothing you can do about it.
Don't upset the Prime Minister's aide, Andy Goldstein.
You've gone from little aid to soccer aid.
Yeah, there we go. Little aid to soccer aid.
There's the link. Good link.
Boys.
Yeah, but it was a whole. Oh, you want to cut me? When you say boys, that means you want to stop.
No, sorry, I'm new to this presenting thing, Andy, aren't I?
No, that's it. I'm done now.
Okay, Andy, Jason, enjoy the evening,
Cheers,
and we'll
boys.
look forward to chatting to you shortly.
Thanks a lot.
Andy Goldstein is hosting Soccer Aid, and Jason Cundy will be alongside Ollie Klink on commentary duty. All the build-up from 6. It is a 6:30 kickoff. Chaos at the French Open. I can't list off all of the upsets there's been over the last week because we might be here all day. Yannick Sinner a couple of days ago suffered a staggering second-round collapse against the world number 56. He's out just the day after Sinner's exit. Novak Djokovic followed him out of the door. Defending champion Coco Gauffron has come to an abrupt end. Let's bring in Rob Mull, the associate features editor at The Sun. And Rob, there's also been another major upset today involving Iga Swiatek.
Yeah, on her birthday, the day she turned 25, she's out the door so she can have a birthday cake.
Not a great birthday present, though, is it really?
No, she lost to Marta Kostic in 3 sets. And Marta won Madrid. She won a tournament in France. She's got 16 wins in a row on clay. She's been the most improved player this particular section of the calendar. And Iga had actually won 4 times here. It's her earliest exit for 7 years. So quite the surprise, really. And it means because Sabalenka and Naomi Osaka play tomorrow, there's only going to be one person in the women's draw and the men's draw who's actually won a slam before.
Wow.
So on the men's side, we're going to have a new name on the trophy.
Yeah.
Potentially the same on the women's side, unless Sabalenka or Osaka go all the way. So it's been, I don't know if anyone wants to win this tournament because it's been a number of upsets and shocks in Paris.
Rob, it's been really exciting because tennis fans and the neutrals love a 5-setter. And in the men's singles, there's been 9 matches that have gone to 5. It's a record, isn't it, in the French Open? Is there any particular reason for that, or is it because all the players are of a very similar standard?
Well, and also clay constitutes to long play, doesn't it? Long rallies and takes its time, basically. I mean, yeah, it might be exciting, but do you really want to sit and watch a 6-hour match as we had yesterday? I mean, I think tennis does have to look at that, but this is the challenge of Grand Slam tennis. It is the best of 5 sets. Now, Rafa Yohoda, who's the young Spanish 19-year-old, when have we heard of young Spanish teenagers winning on their debut. Well, he is through into the quarterfinals. He came through a 5-setter today. He came from 2 sets down. And he's the new Rafa in these parts. The crowd have been singing him. It's Hit's debut here. Could he go all the way, essentially? He's only 19. He's from Madrid. He's the 27th seed. Could he do what Rafa Nadal did in 2005 and lift the trophy at his first attempt? So, yeah, I mean, we don't want every match to go 5 sets. I mean, I think, when you're covering the tournament, it's long enough these days, but especially the night matches. But, yeah, I think that the surface and the conditions, it's been very hot this past week in the French capital, and that's probably resulted in very drawn-out performances.
Rob,
sorry,
I thought you were finished there. I would say that lots of people over the last couple of years have been, maybe critical of tennis in the sense that it's just Sinner Alcaraz, Silka Ranarraz, repeat over the last couple of years, and it basically feels like you can almost just fast forward to the men's final on the Sunday. Obviously, they're both out. Djokovic is out. How exciting is this for the sport of tennis, looking a little bit more long-term? You mentioned there are a couple of names that could maybe go all the way, but looking more broader at tennis and the possibility of a few new names going deep and announcing themselves to the world. Is this a good thing for the game moving forward?
Oh, of course. They have to sustain it, because on the women's side, we've seen people win a slam and we've never heard of them again, or they've never been able to challenge. So whoever does win here, if it's a new first-time, well, it will be a first-time winner. Zverev aside, because Zverev obviously has won the Olympic title, he's the number 2 seed. If someone outside of him wins, you hope they then are competitive at Wimbledon and the US Open. João Fonseca, who had that victory over Djokovic, is the young Brazilian 19-year-old. He plays Casper Ruud this evening. He's one to watch as well. So imagine if we had a teenager in the latter stages, how brilliant that would be for the sport. He could play Rafael Hodder in the semi-finals if they both progress. So yeah, it is interesting. But I think for a lot of your listeners, it's all about grass, isn't it? And Wimbledon and who's going to emerge on the thing. But I would imagine with Alcaraz out, you would assume Sinner and Djokovic will come to the fore at Wimbledon next month.
There's an unseeded American, Zachary Shavja. Is that, how do you pronounce it?
Pass, I don't know, to be honest.
Oh, there we go.
I thought that's right. I don't feel as bad now, but that's fine. No. But it's the first time he's in the 4th round of a Grand Slam, and he said that he played on clay in America, but it was green clay.
Okay.
So what's the difference? Is there a difference, the green clay to obviously the orange clay we see at the French Open?
I'll pass, Barry. I have no idea. He's a Californian from San Diego, 23, and I have no idea about green clay. So rather than mislead you a little bit, it's his debut. He tried to qualify the last couple of years. It's his debut in the main draw here. So, and he's only played in 7 slams before, so it's still new territory for him. But I think I'm going to have to seek out some green clay to look at it, because I've never seen it.
Unless he just made it up.
You can join us this time next week, and you can spend maybe that's your work for the Sun for the next week. Do a big feature piece all on
green
that.
Clay.
But on a more serious note, Rob, hundreds of people have been arrested and dozens of police injured after Champions League riots in France. Yeah. Obviously, you're out there in France. Just give us a bit of insight and information over to what the last 24 hours have been like.
Yeah, so Roland Garros is just around the corner, the Parc des Princes. They had a watch party last night, and I went out there to see what was going on as a reporter. Got caught up in tear gas pellets being fired, unfortunately, the wrong place at the wrong time. And a couple of my other colleagues ended up getting tear gas in their eyes and in their throats. And there was riot police on the corner, and it was just, the French love a riot, but and they won. Goodness knows what they would have done if they'd lost last night. But it was an excuse for a lot of people to do antisocial behaviour, to fire off fireworks, smoke bombs, flares, and it was joyous. People there wasn't, you didn't feel that you were in danger, but it was more the fact that fireworks were sometimes going in the wrong direction, or you might be caught up in a surge or rush. But yeah, there's been some really bad scenes across the capital, some cars burnt out, and some sort of, lots of bad behaviour, which went on through the night, basically. And I don't know why people do it. They just use football as the excuse, as the vehicle to do this, basically, to riot in their own city. We've got the parade belated today in the middle of town, so obviously a bit further away from where we are now. But yeah, it was quite a chaotic scenes, shall we say, outside Parc des Princes.
Well, Rob, thank you very much for joining us.
Rob.
Stay safe, and here's to a good, a fun and entertaining last couple of days, hopefully on the tennis courts.
Good man, thank you. Cheers, guys.
That is Rob Moore, the Associate Features Editor of Sport at The Sun. And yeah, it's anyone's tournament, isn't it? On the men and women's side of the French Open. We'll keep you across all of that happening on talkSPORT. This is talkSPORT. It is the Sunday session. A reminder, at 6 o'clock, we're off to the London Stadium. Andy Goldstein hosting build-up to Soccer Aid. And then at 6:30, live commentary here on talkSPORT. Should be a fun evening, raising money for a good cause. Next up, we'll be taking a look at some of the strangest stories which have been doing the rounds this week.
Big week, big week, big week.
Come on.
Big week.
Should I get congratulations?
Happy for you. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Do you know how pathetic this is? You got a Tottenham fan sort of celebrating. You can't celebrate. You come in
straight in. Bro, at least like maybe a cup of tea first. Like, bro, straight in.
No, mate, because your entire gait and approach is wrong. This is unjust. This isn't how it works. Darren sitting next to me, giving it the big one, is just about fair enough. They're champions. They can get away with it. You can't come in here as a Tottenham fan and celebrate. You've got to celebrate.
You're smiling. Where did you finish?
What did you celebrate?
Where did you finish?
I'm not celebrating.
Where did you finish?
No, we finished mid-table.
I'll put something to you. We had the same season as you.
I kind of agree with that. I just think it's crazy that you came in here. You came in here like the cat that got the cream.
No.
This is the thing.
I think what people are confused about. No one celebrated finishing 17th. We celebrated the fact that we're not going to be in the championship. You don't get that. What don't you get about that? No one wants to be 17th, but once we're in a relegation fight, you want me to be upset that we're staying up, bro? I'm happy, bro.
I think it's shameful that you can find anything to celebrate at the moment. And this is the thing that Tottenham fans are doing. They're sort of going, we kind of won. We won. We succeeded. We made it. Like, no, you lost. The fact that we're having this conversation. We're having this conversation.
He's coming in for a different level of smoke.
Yeah, he has.
I had an ice cream earlier.
He has. No, literally, I was enjoying the weather. Yeah, he's coming in on war like.
If I had $1 million.
Sounds of the weekend on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
Our final sounds of the weekend. Our stories this afternoon have been Hincapié getting plenty of attention after a wardrobe malfunction while playing for Arsenal, and Atletico Madrid. Their joke transfer offer for Lamine Yamal, the song's valued $1 million, and also Circus. Thank you very much to Dylan and Sammy from Cardiff for texting in those song suggestions. But now, though, it's time for this.
Stranger Things on the Sunday session on talkSPORT.
This is Stranger Things, where we take a look at some of the stranger stories which have been making the news this week. Stranger Things kicks off this week with some of PSG's fans in France who managed to miss. This is remarkable. I've seen this on social media. They managed to miss the exact moment their team won the Champions League. A huge crowd gathered outside a bar, watching the match on a giant screen and filming on their phones, ready for the decisive penalty. But just as Arsenal defender Gabriel stepped up to take the kick, disaster happened. The TV screen suddenly went black. The boos, gasps and cries of confusion were immediate. Fans throwing their hands to their head. They couldn't believe what happened, and then came the twist. A few moments later, word spread that PSG had actually won. And to be fair, the despair instantly turned into delight as the crowd erupted. There's a video, Perry, doing the rounds on social media. I mean, like, literally, obviously couldn't have happened at a worse time. Imagine that 120 minutes you sit there wanting to watch your team win the Champions League. You get to penalties, off you go, black screen, no thank you.
Put your 50p in the meter.
Yeah.
Make sure, just put the 50p in, then you make sure you're going to get all the broadcast through, didn't you? I would say, I'm not going to say it was funny, because if it was she was on the other foot, you'd be absolutely.
The video is quite
mortified.
funny.
It's funny if you're not a PSG fan.
And
exactly.
they've ended up winning things.
Yeah, so then they're all right. Yeah. Over now to England captain Harry Kane, who's about to swap football for baseball, at least for one day. The England captain set to throw the ceremonial first pitch at major baseball league game in the United States during England's World Cup campaign. Thomas Tuchel's squad will be special guests at sold-out clash between Kansas City Royals and the St. Louis Cardinals, with Kane getting the honour of taking centre stage before the game. The rest of the England squad won't be getting away with it just watching either. They are reportedly lined up for a warm-up game of catch with the baseball stars on the field. So if Harry Kane's football career ever slows down, there may be a future waiting for him on the pitcher's mound. Have you ever been to a live baseball game?
No, unfortunately not.
It is amazing.
Yeah?
I was lucky enough to
Where have you
see
been?
the Anaheim Angels against, I think it was Texas City Rangers, I think it was. And the great thing, when you have the pitcher, if the first choice pitcher having a bit of a bad time, they have a practice area on the side of the pitch where the reserve pitcher goes and starts practicing with the catcher, as if to say, you better line yourself up, mate.
Yeah.
So football equivalent, if a centre forward's having a bad time, then you have a little five-a-side goal on the side of the pitch, and you start doing finishing.
Just Victor Gyökeres.
Yeah, just liven yourself
Saturday
up.
afternoon.
It's-
Just having, yeah.
And it's really weird that I think halfway through the 7th innings, no matter if all bases are covered and it's really tense in the game, all of a sudden, all goes off and it goes, let's go down to the ballpark, and everybody in the stadium starts singing.
How does it go?
Let's go down to the ballpark.
Very
and you're looking
good.
round and you're going, what's going on here? It's random.
Yeah, that's also a little bit humiliating, isn't it? If you know, like imagine if it's football and every single game you're just doing
it's very
shots
American.
into an empty net.
But
Harry Kane also strikes me as someone who is just good at absolutely everything. We know he's good at football. We know he can play golf. I've seen him at Lords hitting a few balls before, and he can hit a long ball. And now he's doing baseball.
By the way, he'll be practicing. You don't want to miss the backstop. You want to make sure that when you're pitching it, it goes straight over.
He strikes me as someone, if he's going to do it, he's going to make
do
sure
it
he's
properly.
doing it
He'll probably have a bit of swaz on it at the end as well.
Good on Harry Kane. Now, this is the definition of Stranger Things. Little Mix star Perry Edwards has recounted how she fainted at Liverpool club party. It says in my script, Perry 32, in case we wanted to know her. I don't know. I mean, I didn't, you know, did you know Perry Edwards 32?
No, I'll tell you what, she looks very, very good for 30.
She looks great. You just think Perry...
I'd have thought 26.
Well, I mean, you know, Perry Edwards is not...
Perry to Perry.
Not the only Perry that looks good for their age. Perry was engaged to former Red star Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, revealed the embarrassing moment happened when Reds boss Jurgen Klopp asked her if she wanted to sing. And next thing you know, she's fainted. Instead of me explaining the story in more detail, badly, we can bring you exactly what she said on Hits Radio.
Hanging off one of the girls that I've just met, and I'm hitting the deck. I'm hearing, oh, reggaeton land, and I thought this is the end of my life. Honestly, wanted the ground to swallow me up. And then I just was wiped out, and then I came around from passing out because obviously I blacked out completely, and I'm sat on a chair with a fizzy pop in my hand, and Jordan Henderson's just looking over me, and everyone's just there, and they're like, you all right? And I'm thinking, oh my God.
I mean, you'd think as someone that's been used to being on stages all around the world singing that, like, you know, she wouldn't get, you know, Jurgen Klopp goes over and says, come and give us a song. No stress at all. It happens to the best of us, Perry.
Blood sugar levels.
Under pressure.
Get your jelly babies. Always get your jelly babies.
Wow.
Keep your blood sugar levels up.
There we go. Finish us off, Perry.
And finally, Lionel Messi's bodyguard has gone viral again, this time for quite literally carrying a journalist off during a live TV broadcast. Yassine Chueco, who's become almost as famous as Messi himself since following him to the MLS in 2023, reminded everyone why he's on the payroll ahead of the Champions League final weekend. During a light-hearted live broadcast, the former US Navy SEAL and martial arts expert casually picked up Brazilian sports presenter Vitor Sergio Rodriguez and carried him away over his shoulder. Thankfully, all appeared to be in good-natured fun, but the strength on display was very real. Chueco has become a cult figure among football fans thanks to the speed he uses to get Messi wherever his supporters need to try to get close. And he's rather intimidating presence around the Argentine superstar. Safe to say, if you're thinking about running onto the pitch to meet Messi, Yassine Chueco is probably going to get there first.
I've seen lots of videos of people trying to run on the pitch and get near Messi. This guy, he literally comes out of absolutely nowhere, always gets to the guy first before he gets to Messi. He is an absolute freak. He's an absolute beast.
Have you seen this clip?
I haven't seen this one, no.
He picks the presenter up like he's like a 5-year-old boy. Honestly, and the presenter's actually
big,
thinking,
isn't he, this
how have you done that?
Yeah.
And he picks him, basically, he's parallel. He takes him at a right angle and just goes, way you go, get off.
He is. I mean, Lionel Messi is in safe hands with this guy. He is absolutely phenomenal. That was Stranger Things. Perry Groves, been an absolute pleasure.
Cheers, Samuel.
Over the last couple of hours.
You got Soccer Aid? You got your shorts? You got your boots?
No, not Soccer Aid. I'm going to go home and watch Soccer Aid in TV and listen to it on the radio. You're working tonight, aren't you?
Yes, yep. Got
about the Arsenal?
Yeah, it's a tough job, but I've got to go into a fan zone full of Arsenal fans who probably won't even know who I am because
won't know who
they
you
won't
are.
because they've probably
What
been
a
on it.
ridiculous thing to say.
They'll be going like that. That Jimmy Saville's putting a bit of weight, isn't he? So they've been on it all day. So it's going to be just positive vibes everywhere. So I'll be with my fellow Gooners.
A celebration today, Perry Groves.
Massive
Winning the Premier League.
Yes, celebration of 22 years.
There we go. Perry, top man. Up next, it's Soccer Aid live commentary on talkSPORT.